It's
What?
Jojo.
Welcome to Joe.
It's Joe. My name's Joe. That's Joe. And that's
And we're
also
the
Joe.
Joe.
Yes. Uh, Here we're all Joe. Um, I know it's very
Joeing it up.
bizarre.
Uh, ah,
Man, we just read JoJo Part 1.
I
we
was
did.
forced to read JoJo Part 1 against my will.
Yeah, you're not a happy camper, are you, Ash?
I've never been.
Did you
Nah.
actually really not like that at all? You were very
I don't know what you're
sad?
talking about.
Okay. So this is my first time,
Yeah,
going through JoJo.
that's
So,
right.
I'm sure I'll have a lot to say. Spoiler alert, no, I have nothing to say aside from just reacting to things that happened.
It's
But
cool.
that's cool. I'll just whenever you say something, I'll just be like, "Yes."
I'll
I'll
agree and say,
I'll
wow, Mike, you're so right and
yes,
handsome.
I'll be the meme where I say yes. Okay? There you go.
I am the JoJo expert here. I got into JoJo between like right after the part 4 anime wrapped up, I think, the summer after that. And I have since caught up to the manga completely. I'm all caught up with the part 8. And
Not for long.
oh, oh, he whispered in my ear, and that caused a chain reaction that made that noise. But yeah, I am very, very much a JoJo knowledgeable guy. Ash,
Wait,
what do you like? What?
you're a guy?
Yes.
Oh shit.
Yes.
Damn, I thought you were an onion ring. You guys thought that was funny, huh? I don't even have to try sometimes.
You know what? Yeah. Ash, what has your experience been with JoJo?
I've seen the anime up to part 5. I think I watched like every part in 1 or 2 days each.
That's true. I think we watched like almost all of part 3 over the course of like a day together.
Oh, I was there when you guys finished part 3 and started part 4.
Yeah, so you know a little bit about late part 3, early part 4.
Yeah.
So I'm the only manga reader of this one, but I'm thinking we'll have some guest stars in later parts who are more caught up. You know?
Guys, I know someone who goes by JoJo in his day-to-day life. Should I invite him?
Yeah.
That would be bizarre.
I used to call SpaghettiOs JoJo's. Can I invite a bowl of
What?
SpaghettiOs onto the show?
Mike, what kind of fucking goblin goon shit are you saying?
What the fuck?
What kind of? I'm a little goblin boy. Watch me dance.
You like SpaghettiOs?
I
Aren't
when I was a tiny boy baby.
Dude, I never liked SpaghettiOs. It tasted like fucking rotten tomato water.
Yeah, it's
SpaghettiOs were fucking amazing, but they're also shit. So, you know.
well,
I've
yeah.
never liked
When
that shit.
when you're a kid, they're amazing.
I was a kid.
Well, you weren't a very good kid then.
I
You should have
guess
done
that's
kid
right.
stuff more. Like
Like try
eating
cook.
crap food and thinking it's good.
Go
Exactly.
on, I definitely did that a lot and still did until very recently.
I don't believe you.
I still eat crap and think it's good.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah. So
show 'em, Mike.
yeah,
Teach them a lesson.
yeah.
Uh,
Jo- Jojo, we're
whoa.
reading. We're talking about all of part 1, Phantom Blood. It's 45, 44 chapters.
44
44
chapters.
chapters total, 9 anime episodes. Instead of the official translation of JoJo, despite having reached like part 4, since we're gonna end up moving past it eventually because it's pretty slow, where we decided to instead read from the start the more faithful to the original translation of the colored manga by Jojo's Colored Adventure. You can find them on Manga Decks, and you can also find their own website where you can download all the colored volumes, and I think also the black and white volumes for Part 5 too, and also like the spin-offs like the Spoke Kishibe Rohan and the anniversary novels, all that cool stuff. So that's the version we will be reading from.
Hey, I just thought of something. When
What's
we get
that?
to part 4, can we read the infamously bad translation?
The Duwang?
Yeah.
What are you doing in Duwang?
W- uh,
Being the fucking
nothing.
song.
Uh,
Had a feeling so complicated. Don, you don't know what we're talking about.
really? Could you tell that from how I
We
responded?
gotta we gotta insert you into JoJo memes.
Uh, okay.
So
we will induct you.
it was the year 1881. No, wait, fuck. I was gonna start when Dio and Jonathan met, but it actually starts before then.
Oh yeah, there's a prologue that the anime completely leaves out. Right, the very start of the manga, the first chapter is a prologue about the ancient Aztecs, quote unquote.
It's not in
Because
the
Like,
anime.
yeah, they actually did animate it once, but not for the show. They did some OVAs for Part 3 in they did one set in the early 90s and one set in the early 2000s. I forget which one did it, but one of them started with a prologue showing this scene happening of this Aztec chieftain dude using the blood of a virgin sacrifice to power up the mask and obtain immortality, and then suck the blood of one of his dudes.
I
And that's
wanted to
the
see
whole.
that animated, but I was sorely disappointed.
I'll show you the. I'll send you the anime OVA scene of that.
Interesting.
But it's an interesting omission. A, because I think I kind of get why they omit it. A, it's not really that focused on, and being that we have since learned the origins of the stone mask, and it doesn't really have to do with the actual Aztecs themselves. They kind of remove them from the story in the anime version to not really
Yeah.
like build that up so that it becomes kind of contradicted later. And also this mystical, like mystical savage kind of trope, that kind of like sensationalized stuff. It's probably okay in '86, wouldn't fly in the more PC 2010s, you know?
Yeah, I
It's kind of
suppose.
Indiana Jones style mystical tribal shit.
There was like there was actually a couple of scenes that were cut, from the
Yeah.
anime that I noticed. Like I didn't even watch all the way through, but I noticed like several scenes that were actually just cut.
Yeah,
It's
especially
interesting.
in the early manga, they do a lot of trimming and abridging of certain scenes in order to fit all of the Jojo and Dio as kids shit into one episode. By abridging a lot of the early stuff, they can fit it all into the first episode.
Yeah,
But the
that makes sense.
oh, but the omission of the prologue with the Aztecs changes something bigger about
It's a
the
little bit different.
well, yeah, but like sort of like an overall feeling you get while reading the early parts. In the early parts of the manga with Jojo and Dio as kids, we know exactly what the stone mask does, what its powers are. We have kind of an idea of like what could happen with it later in the story, and we're just kind of like waiting for it to happen. But with the
Yeah.
anime, throughout the first episode, we see the stone mask and we know that it does something, but we don't know what it is, and we spend the first like 1.5 episodes kind of wondering like what does it do? What's it gonna do? When will it be important? You know, that's
Yeah.
probably the biggest change of
I
the
noticed a lot of
abridged.
just a lot of just random seeds, like even beyond the first episode. Like
Yeah,
I noticed like before when they're going into the Wind Knight village,
Midnight
There's
Slot, yeah.
when Night's Lot, there's like a scene where Dio is like explaining how they got there and everything, uh and that they're gonna they notice JoJo's coming and they're gonna do something about it, and that was just completely cut from the anime. It's like pretty much every scene, like from Dio's perspective, beyond like uh beyond the
Beyond the
first
really
couple
important ones.
yeah, beyond the really important ones, like early on, every scene from Dio's perspective was basically cut.
Not really every scene, like him finding the stone mask, him
No, I mean
vampirizing
beyond
Italy.
that, like
Uh,
beyond like the early parts.
there's some cut stuff, but they leave in a lot of stuff from later.
Maybe. Again, I didn't even see like the last couple episodes, but just from the most recent episodes that I saw, I noticed a couple scenes, it was
Right,
interesting
the earlier stuff, right?
because like normally like in anime like the anime usually actually adds scenes and stuff, like it usually adds filler content, and then in this instance it actually just removes stuff.
Yeah, that's probably
There doesn't seem to be much added.
there's some minor additions, but yeah, Phantom Blood is especially kind of I don't want to say
It's
rushed, but
it's
like
made more concise, I'd say.
it's sped up a bit. Yeah.
Can you guys believe they cut the scene where Jonathan eats a chocolate bar like he's a fucking savage?
That
Oh
wasn't
yeah.
even in the manga.
Yeah,
What
it
are you
was.
talking about?
It's after he gets
Oh
sent to
wait,
death.
wait, I do remember this. Yeah, I noticed it. Like, it made no sense because it was like in the middle of two different things. He just like looks over. There's a chocolate bar, and he's like, "Huh, chocolate bar," and he fucking munches down on it for no reason. It's not
It's after
explained.
no, it's after he gets sent to bed without dinner for eating like a
Yeah,
fucking maniac, and then he's laying on bed after being sent to bed without dinner, knowing that he'll get more food tomorrow, and he's like, "Will I die like this?" Because he's a little
oh
Jonathan,
yeah,
especially in the manga, is a fucking drama queen,
that
and he
makes
like
sense.
sees a picture of his mother, and then he looks over at the table and he's like, "Oh, I have a leftover chocolate bar," and he starts biting into it like a little gremlin maniac.
Oh my god. I
It's
for some
it's
reason,
funny.
like when I was reading, I like in the beginning, like before the time skip, I got the impression that like Jojo and Dio were like not 12, like that they were like, I don't know, like 18 or something already. And then when the time skip happened and they were like 19, I was like, "What?"
Yeah, it's
The
both the
proportions
art.
are weird.
Yeah, it's the proportions, it's the art style. With the anime, it's definitely the voices too. But yeah, they don't look 12.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
but
definitely.
and then they turn 19 and they're both like muscle-bound gorilla men.
Yeah, that was also weird.
The art style's a bit it's early. Yeah, yeah, this is the first part. Araki's still kind of like a
Yeah.
early mangaka,
Oh
so
yeah.
the art style can be pretty wonky at times.
It can. I also noticed one panel specifically. I know you posted it in here. Uh the one where
The one
Children
where
of
Jojo's
he
the
going.
throws
Carrot.
the punch?
No, the one where Jojo's going to attack Dio, like
Oh yeah,
and
as a
and
kid,
Yeah,
his
yeah.
yeah, and his leg is like completely out of whack.
yeah.
That's like really early on, and it's just so
It's
bizarre.
it's very it, Araki likes his poses, but he's definitely got to like
The leg positioning
im,
is
im,
not great.
yeah, it's
Oh, you
definitely
telling me you
improved
can do
from then.
better?
No.
While we're still talking about early, like the first couple chapters with them as kids, I wanted to mention that like they're both given very solid introductions. We know exactly, but by the time they meet, we know exactly like what's going on with them. Theo comes from nothing, and he's kind of hard in his heart, so to speak, in order to get by, leading to his personality. And Jojo is the opposite. He comes from pretty much everything, so he's
He's so
kind of
soft.
yeah, he's soft. He's kind of naive about things. He attacks the one kid, and he's just kind of like very ineffectually punching him, but he's doing it because he's trying to save Arena from the bullies, and he says like, "I want to be a gentleman that stands up for what's right." So we know that he wants to be he's a good guy. He wants to be a gentleman. He's not just some like
He's not some noble
spoiled
prick.
asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not a prick. And the anime kind of gives us a better look at their daily lives in a little montage before they meet up. In both versions, is very well set up. The anime just kind of puts things in order a bit more, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they meet, and Dio enters like a weirdo by jumping out of the car, and then he kicks a dog. And that's
Yo,
pretty telling.
that was fucking insane. Like he just jumps out and he just fucking annihilates that dog right on the spot. And it's just like what okay, uh I guess we're
Yeah,
starting off like that, aren't we?
get used to dogs being hurt. That's a big thing in
Yes.
JoJo.
Now you
Yeah.
might think it's because Hirohiko Araki like gets a huge fucking hard on at animal abuse, but actually, he claims, I don't believe it, but he claims it's just to show you how much of a bastard the bad guys are.
Yeah,
But it's
Um
totally because he gets a
I
boner
I
from it.
believe both at the same time.
it stops. It stops in part 4, but only because he does like the most horrific one of that at the very start of part 4. I think you even saw that when we watched some of early part 4. You remember that guy biting into the dog's head and like ripping
Oh
out
my
part of its
god,
head
I remember that.
and
What
then
the
spitting it
fuck?
into the guy's mouth?
What the fuck?
That is the most fucked up variant of it, but there's a lot of it.
Just wait until there's a dog main character.
I mean, Part 8 JoJo got his name from another character's dog because he reminded her of the dog. So we technically do. Maybe that's why that JoJo gets hurt and fucked up so badly.
Man,
I was talking about Iggy, but okay.
Wow.
so you know how you know the Joe stars are in like Scotland or whatever.
They're in
Mhm.
England, but like they apparently came from Scotland.
It there was I specifically saw a line that said they were like going back to Scotland or whatever like when they were I
Yeah,
think
it was in the flashback the copper instigates after George dies.
yes.
He says that he called George Joestar back from Scotland, and he's like in a kilt. You can tell, but like they're currently in England by London at the start of the story.
Wait, but isn't the mansion in Scotland?
No, no, it's in
Wait,
England.
interesting. Okay. I was seems weird to me. Anyways, my point is, Joestar isn't exactly like a standard English or Scottish name.
Yeah,
Pretty pretty
it was
weird.
pretty much invented to have the JoJo. You know,
Yeah,
it's
I
a
don't know.
cool name though, Joestar.
It is pretty cool.
It's pretty epic.
Dylan, do you know where the name Joestar comes from?
No.
They all have a star-shaped birthmark on their neck.
That's more like a retcon, you know.
I know, but it's the closest thing to a reason I can offer.
Interesting.
That's true. Maybe that is where the name came from in the past, you know, the star birthmark that has definitely always been there. Don't look for it, but it's definitely always been there in parts 1 and 2. We didn't come up for it
Definitely.
for part 3. It's definitely been there.
I wasn't paying too closely attention to like JoJo's eyes at all, but I there was like an episode of the anime that I watched where there's one shot that I saw of JoJo and I looked at his eyes and they looked a little bit like stars, like the pupils looked like stars, and I was like, okay, interesting. I don't know if that's an actual thing or if
I don't know.
or
I
if
don't know
that
what
was
you're
just
talking about.
some weird thing that I saw.
I
I
think
mean,
you're
I
going
don't
blind.
doubt that happened, but I mean, there's no significance to it or nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, also when Dio did the weird thing with his eyes at the end, uh, his eyes
Oh,
looked like stars. It was kind of
kind of.
interest. It was weird. That was just a weird, just
Yeah,
weird moment.
You
in the
want to know
anime,
what the
it looks like he's shooting a fucking laser, but apparently it's pressurized blood squirting from his
Yeah.
eyes.
Do you want to know what that attack is called? We get an attack name for it in the start of part 2. Do you want to know what it's called?
Uh,
Yes.
please,
Yes.
the blood blast.
I don't
You want me to
even.
tell you?
I don't know, man.
It's called the fucking Space Ripper Stingy Eyes.
No, I do not remember that, and I do not accept that.
Space
That's what
Ripper
it's called.
Stingy Eyes.
Yes.
Okay.
But back to early Joj. A lot of the early chapters, like we said before, a lot the early JoJo and Dio as kids is kind of abridged and skimmed to fit it all into one episode, which I think is probably like for the best, considering like for the betterness of the adaptation, because like I'm sure there's plenty of readers like when it was just coming out, little 1986 or 89, yeah, it was 86, little 1986 Japanese kids being like, this is like the fourth or fifth chapter and all that's happened is the main character keeps getting fucked with by this other kid. I'm getting kind of bored of that, not knowing what's with only really like the stone mask existence informing them like, okay, something big's gonna happen soonish.
Wait, what specifically are you talking about again?
They're like the early chapters are just so much of like just Dio fucking with Jonathan. I wouldn't be surprised if uh, Japanese readers reading weekly, not knowing where the story's going, would kind of get sick of that after the first like 3 or 4 chapters.
Yeah, but what did they add that you're talking about? I didn't catch
No,
that.
he's saying that it's better that the anime like cut a bunch of it.
Oh, that they cut a bunch of. Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
I
I think
thought
it's
you said
better that
they
it was
added a scene that was different or something.
now just like the way they skimmed scenes.
Okay. Yes.
It's not all bad because Jojo also gets a girlfriend at like 12 years old.
Yeah.
He's a stud.
Well,
Damn, his name should have been Chad Showstar.
Stealing the show star.
Come to
What are
your
you
yeah.
house
saying?
and you.
It was actually the part where Jojo writes on the tree with the heart and Jojo and Arena, and then and she was like calling him naughty or something. I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, it was cute.
Hmm.
It's a cute montage. I like the part where they're like at like a carnival going down like a sledding like skate thing. The anime just shows like a quick frame of that, but in the manga they like crash and go flying and they're drawn very funny.
Um, so Dio fucking decides he's got to ruin Jonathan's life. Um,
A
make
mouth
his
fucks
friends
her.
not like him. He
Oh my God.
violates her. He violates Erina's virgin lips
Innocence.
with his
I
fucking
feel like that
filthy
would
Dio
have
mouth.
made more sense if I like knew more about like 19th century English customs
Eh,
or like the culture, because
Um,
I guess like that's a thing where
it's a
it's like sacred or something.
it's even now today, like a first kiss is like,
Yeah,
it's
but
a
like the
big-ish
whole
thing.
idea she was like washing her mouth in the gutter, like what was
It was
I
like
didn't fully understand the context of that, but
she was
I mean
like
I
sending a mess. She was sending a message like this is gross. Muddy water is better than your kiss, Dio.
I suppose.
and
It was as close as like a proper English lady could get to go fuck yourself.
True.
then we get a scene of like George Joestar, Jonathan's dad, talking to Dio about the dog Danny, explaining how he's Jonathan's best friend in the whole world.
The
Oh
anime
And
yeah.
skips that
Dio,
too.
Yeah, that was
what's
gone.
up? Uh,
The anime
and
skipped that.
Dio decides that he's got to put a stop to that because
Well,
it's hard to take away a dog's loyalty, so you might as well fucking murder it.
well,
So he, yeah,
first, Jojo finds out that Dio kissed Erina by force, and he busts in to beat the fucking shit out of Dio,
Right. Yes.
and he fails at first because he's still a wimp, but like he pushes through because
He's got the
that's kind of
JoJo
where
spirit.
exactly that's where he gathers his strength from, helping out others, because JoJo is the most like very openly heroic of all the JoJos for reasons, and I'll like talk more about that later. But like this first real fight between JoJo and Dio, it kind of shows like the lead in with Dio kissing Arena and then him lashing out at her when she like insults him by washing out her mouth with muddy water, shows us Dio's fatal flaw, which is his temper, that he spends most of the part like trying to keep under wraps and come off as this like cool-headed guy. Like it shows us that fatal flaw of his, and then this aftermath of Jojo fighting Dio and being able to overcome him because he's fighting for the sake of Erina. It shows us his best quality, which is his chivalry. That's where he gathers his strength from,
And also super like fighting skills.
Yeah,
He becomes like a
super.
martial artist or something.
The power of chivalry has given me kung fu action.
Yes. I've had the secrets of the Kung Fu Masters transported into my mind via my chivalrous spirit.
I opened a door for a lady, held it open for a lady, and suddenly I can do the kung fu karate chop.
That's funny because I did the same thing, and now I can do Fishman karate.
Nice.
That's
What
awesome.
were you What were you saying about Danny, the dog that nothing bad happens to, Ash?
Danny the dog that nothing bad ever happens to. Danny sex banged the dog. Fucking
We all love Danny.
Dio's like, that seems to be the last target that I could use to destroy Jonathan's life. So he fucking locks Danny in a box, ties up his snout so he can't bark, puts him with the garbage, and the garbage is thrown in the incinerator. And the anime doesn't really show this that much as far as I can recall,
It
but the
doesn't.
manga
They don't.
dwells on the fucking burning, barely alive dog. And I
Yeah,
was so fucking shook even though I knew it
I
happens.
don't think it
Yeah,
dwelled on it. It just showed it, and the anime just skipped over it completely.
well. The anime shows us it's burning, but like they don't show Danny's burning body busting out of the
Yeah,
fucking
they
thing.
just skip over that completely.
It's pretty
Can
dang
can
horrifying.
we just talk about how fucking slow to react that butler dude was being? He's
Oh
just
yeah, it
like
takes
standing there monologuing like, "Oh, it can't be. It's somebody's
that
burning alive. I should do something."
that banging. Somebody's burning alive. Oh no, what have I done? Let me
Just
just
standing there.
stand here. I'm too horrified to, you know, possibly help whoever's in there.
I mean, let's be real. Would you really care? I mean, if you were at your fucking 9 to 5.
Yeah,
He actually does seem like he cares though.
I'm not paid enough for this shit.
I mean, yeah, dude. I had to go to work to get my schedule today, and there was like someone fucking dying in the front of the store, and they called an ambulance, and I have no idea what happened, and I don't fucking care.
Jeez.
Sometimes you just
Was it Danny?
don't.
It was a human woman.
With the name
Human
Danny.
woman.
Yes.
You wanna know where the name Danny came from?
Daniel.
Everything.
I really
every
thought that's what you were gonna say.
No, everything in JoJo is named after music. For the first 3 parts, it's all the characters, and from then on, it's all the stands, except for part 7 where they do both, including the horses. But part 1, yeah, part 7's a horse race across America. Don't know if you know that.
Okay. Oh,
Also,
interesting.
Jesus is there.
Part 1, we got actually ironically, the main character Jonathan wasn't named after a song. His name came from a fast food restaurant chain in Japan, Jonathan's. which they mention in part 4, like in universe. That restaurant exists.
Oh, because they go to Japan.
Yeah, part 4 is
Japan.
Japan. But yeah, you got Arena is named after is a like a Japanese equivalent of Eleanor, and she's named after the Beatles song Eleanor Rigby. Uh, Danny is named after the song Danny's Song by Loggins and Messina. Dio is named after Ronnie James Dio, and his last name comes from the actor Marlon Brando. Um, who else? Who else? That's
What
that.
about Speedwagon?
I'll get once we get introduced to some more characters post time skip. I'll tell about more of the classic rock inspired names, because even before JoJo, I was always a big classic rock music nerd. So I know
see.
all of the references myself. Didn't need to watch any videos about it.
Epic.
Uh,
What a
do we have
gamer.
any? Do we have any more? Do we have any more things to say about like Jonathan and Dio as kids, or can we go to the time skip?
I have one
Dio's
note
a
about
cuck and I
right
want to
after
rip
the
his
time skip.
foreskin off.
What did you say, Ash?
Dio's a cuck and I want to rip his foreskin off.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's-
Have you
now
guys
he-
ever seen Game of Thrones?
Now he
No.
might have been circumcised. You'd have to sew his foreskin back on to really insult him.
No, they
Well-
don't do circumcision in Europe. Like
Oh,
that's like a weird American thing.
That's true.
It is a weird American thing.
I was
I don't-
watching Oni Plays and he was talking about his foreskin, and that's why I know they don't do that in Europe.
I know all about this.
I don't know much about Game of Thrones, but what were you saying?
There's a character who's like evil incarnate who is basically Dio.
Is it that one kid?
Joffrey. Jeffrey. Yes, it's Jeffrey.
Jeffrey!
Yes. He's like Jeffrey. But yeah,
Nice.
it's just like pure evil incarnate, like being a fucking little prick.
If somebody was
Yeah.
to be evil incarnate, they would be middle school age.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And hey,
Time skip.
time
Things
has
have been-
passed.
Things have been pretty okay in the past 7 years, and we cut to Jonathan and Dio as giant muscle men playing some rugby at the end of college graduation. Dio is apparently a lawyer, and Jonathan's going to be an archaeologist.
Yeah.
That
pretty-
never comes up. That never really comes up again. But yeah,
You would think it
lawyer.
would, but I
Can you-
guess like everything happens within the space of a week, so you know.
Yeah.
you-
Jojo, I'm going to indict you with vampire power.
Can you
True.
believe that it goes into a time skip 5 chapters in? I mean, it took One Piece like 600.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's pretty interesting that you know, all the like drama shit that happened at the start with Dio being a douchebag. Nothing at all has happened since then. This whole
Yeah.
time, Dio's been gaslighting Jojo into thinking he was actually a good guy the whole time. To the point
Yeah.
where Jojo's he just doesn't, he's like, did any of that stuff even happen? Because
Yeah,
Dio is such a
exactly.
nice guy. I can't imagine it. But
That's
he's
true.
still like, you know, at the heart, he's like, yeah, Dio is, I can't trust Dio.
Pretty much. Yeah.
dude, gaslighting is my favorite drug.
Nice. Well, they live in fucking 19th century England. Of course, there'd be gaslights.
True.
But
But yeah, it makes sense because before the time skip, you know, right after Dio and Jojo fought, you know, he's like, I need to work on my anger. And I
Yeah,
guess
pretty much.
that makes sense why he would be you know, kind of
More-
dormant for all those years.
He's more wary of Jojo because he knows Jojo's got this like phenomenal power hidden deep within. Ooh.
Yeah. It was very interesting.
Yeah. And also after the time skip, George Joestar, Mr. Mustachio, he's fucking sick.
How
He's
did that
fucking
happen?
dying.
We find out
It's a mystery.
Jonathan, as he's researching the stone mask, trying to figure out what it do, he finds the letter that Dario gave Dio right at the start, and it clues him in on the Dio actually still is bad, and he's poisoning George. Dio confronts Dio about
George
it.
of the Joe side.
Yes, he confronts Dio about it, and he's able to like get him because he mentions his dad, and Dio like he tells him to swear on the honor of Dario, and we know that Dario is a jackass, so Dio can't, and he lashes out and punches Jonathan in the face. And after all of the shit that's happened in the past few chapters and all of like the like how strong Dio was compared to Jonathan, seeing him just tank the punch, just completely no sell it, and then throw Dio down the stairs. Not even down the stairs, across the banister, down an entire story, skipping the stairs entirely. It's satisfying as fuck.
Gets the shit beat
Mhm.
out of him once again.
Yes. Jonathan, he says, I'm gonna go get this medicine analyzed, and if it's poison, then you're going to fucking jail.
Fucking jail, yes. He gets fucked profusely.
In jail. Yes.
Yep.
The horny police bring him to fucking jail.
Mm-hmm.
Dio needs to be arrested by the horny police. He walks around in crotchless chaps later.
True.
Yeah, so Jonathan goes out to London to see if he can get the poison analyzed, and we get a very funky panel where we see just how much of a burly guy with a small head he's become.
That's true.
I love that panel. I love it so.
Yeah. We could say that. Um, what is this?
Mike, what are you laughing about?
Well, I think about this stupid meme you sent.
Okay.
I can't. The most powerful stand user in all of JoJo, Handsome Peter.
Handsome Peter on his stand. Good
Stands?
old-fashioned values.
What's a stand? I only know about Hamon.
Oh, that's right. You don't know about
Oh, yeah, I've never heard the word stand in my life.
psychic punch ghosts.
Yes. I don't know what that is at all.
Dylan, why don't you chug your dad's clit and we'll get to it later.
My
Dang,
dad doesn't have a clit. I would know.
he's missing out.
I've heard it's a lot of fun.
So
You've
yeah,
heard.
Jojo goes off to Ogre Street, which you know is a tough place because Araki shows us a cat eating a puppy
Yeah, that was fucking
That was
strange.
so weird.
out of nowhere. Yeah,
It's like that cat was eating a puppy.
I-
Okay.
that's not important, but I needed to point that out. Fucking weird. He also sees like the face of a
Fucking
monster on the wall
wacky.
for some reason.
Yeah, I thought there was gonna be an actual monster, and I was like, how? How's there gonna be a
Well-
monster?
Yeah.
That's the ogre the street is named after.
I'd believe that. That's my headcanon now. It got that name
Yeah.
because
You're
that
welcome.
fucking
Mike. I'm
ogre
glad
in
I
the
could
street.
inspire you.
They don't even mention it in the anime, but it's still there. So there's just like a random face on the wall.
The face look at you and he say, "What are you doing on my street?"
Do not lean on me. I am a wall. And then
Yeah. If you bring him a mirror, he'll look in the mirror and say, "Hey, now you're a wall star."
Oh
go
my
to the-
God.
you go to the wall face and say, "Great wall face, please tell me my fortune." And he will say, "I can't tell your fortune, but I will spit on you." And then he globs up a glob of liquid cement on your face, and you die, and you suffocate and die. And then the wall face is like, "Damn it, another person dead from me,
You-
the wall monster."
Another one bites the dust.
Another one bites the
You,
wall.
you go to him, you ask him to tell your fortune. He says, "Do I look like a fucking psychic to you? If I was a psychic, I would have saw the fucking wall transformation witch and not fucking come here."
Listen, I am a supernatural wall. I don't know what you think my capabilities are, but the future is out of my grasp. I am a wall.
I I don't even know what's going on anymore.
I'll tell you what's going on. Speedwagon enters the scene.
Oh shit, it's Speedwagon.
Along with his fucking army of homeless
Yeah.
cronies and fucking heroin
And
addicts.
one Chinese dude.
Wang Chan.
No,
No,
it's not
no.
Wang Chan. It's his Chinese friend who
Once I
who attacks Jonathan. Well, first a guy with a tattoo on his face, named Tattoo, attacks with a knife, and Jonathan grabs it and he says, like, you can take my fingers, but then I'll kick you in the nuts. I'm here for a purpose. And then the Chinese guy comes in. He's like, this kung fu kick will send you to the afterlife because he's Chinese. Of course, he'll know kung
Yeah.
fu, obviously. And then
Right.
like
I
one
remember now.
and we see one panel of him punching the martial artist guy, and then suddenly both him and Tattoo are defeated. And I had no idea. I felt like I had missed something. I had to go back. Both the anime and manga like put Jonathan punching Tattoo in the face like in the very corner of the screen or in like the smallest panel. It felt like I had missed something. But then
Really?
Speedwagon step. Yeah.
I didn't notice that the guy was Chinese until it was pointed out by
He's not
Speedwagon.
really he's not really drawn differently.
Yeah. As opposed to the other Chinese person in this manga, who is
Wang Chen,
you could say
bit of a
drawn
stereotype.
very racistly. That's a word, right?
Yes.
Even if it's not, we get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen worse though.
I'm sure you
seen worse.
have. Yeah, it's pretty racist. Just gonna say that.
So we'll get to old Wango in a bit. First, we got to see Speedwagon's cool hat. His hat becomes a saw blade, and he throws it.
Yankee with blade brim.
Yeah.
He
It cuts
just
through the regular brim.
spins his. He just moves his head and it turns. The
Goes
blade
off.
has spinning and he
spins around his
attacks
arms.
with it.
It's from
He
some old
hurls it.
spy movie or some shit. But just
Yeah,
because
it's
just
a
because it
reference
has
to
a source, that doesn't mean it's not dumb. Also,
it's a
he never
reference
uses it again.
it's a reference to one of the James Bond movies. I forget. I think it's Goldfinger. I think it's Goldfinger. It's
I don't
Odd
know.
Job.
No,
The
it's
Odd
from
Job
the
hat.
Fingerer.
Yes. Yeah, and Jonathan just kind of powers through and beats the shit out of him. But like Speedwagon's so impressed that he held back, and he asks like, and even Jonathan even spared Tattoo and nameless Chineseman. And he's like, "Why'd you spare us?" And he's like, "I'm here because of my dad, and I realized as I was about to beat the shit out of you that you probably have a family waiting for you to come back too. So I couldn't like beat you up too bad." And
What a
Speedwagon
good
likes the
boy.
cut of his jib. He likes the cut of his jib, so he's like, "I will have a homo crush on you for the rest of time,
Well, no, there's
Jonathan."
no gays in JoJo. No one has ever been gay in JoJo.
They're all perfectly
That's true.
confident in their sexuality. They just
Yes.
like to be homoerotic. That's all. It's okay.
Speedwagon's very secure in his sexuality. He just wants to cup Jonathan's balls.
Yes.
That's all he wants.
He just
honestly
enjoys it.
Who wouldn't wanna?
Yeah,
You know
I agree.
what a gentleman.
It's not gay because Speedwagon is totally 100% a lady. Have you seen his beautiful Goldilocks?
It's beautiful silky hair that I want to run my hands through. Yeah. It's not gay if your name is Speedwagon.
True.
It's not gay if your name is Robert.
Speedwagon doesn't even have a
His
gender.
full
to it.
name is
They don't even mention that he has like a normal name. What the
Yep.
fuck? I just
Robert
realized.
E.O. Speedwagon.
Was that even in the manga? Because I didn't notice it until
No,
the
they
anime.
never call him Robert.
Yeah,
Maybe that's like part 2, I guess.
probably.
His name is canonically Robert E.O. Speedwagon.
I know they said it in the anime. once, but it was in
Yeah,
the sub, so it's probably different.
that reminds me, the anime doesn't have one of my favorite lines from this manga translation, which is describing Jonathan, "You're a tough baby with a big body." Which
That's such a
it's
good
it's a
line.
very apt description of him.
True. He is a baby.
Baby.
We all love it though. It's all cool. Oh, I just
What?
I just remembered fucking Araki doesn't know how to draw a woman's arms. And so at the end of part one, when he draws Erina like holding the baby or whatever, her arm is like partially bare and it looks like fucking Jojo's arm. And I'm just
Oh,
like,
really?
what the fuck?
We got a lot to talk about before we get there.
I know,
Yeah.
it just came to mind randomly and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. Then we cut over to Dio getting drunk, and he doesn't like that he's getting drunk because it reminds him of his dad. But then he just starts drinking some more. And he runs into two old assholes, and this is where I put my note that says Araki has a very unique way of drawing random pricks.
True.
Yeah, he gives them teeth that he gives them like fucked up piano teeth, like that one guy in One Piece.
Oh yeah.
There's a
But
lot of randos in this manga.
there's a lot of random pricks, yeah.
Yeah,
And
Just
he
like
uses,
real life.
and
true.
after they mention his mom, I think, he
Yeah,
goes,
they're like, why are you out without your mommy, little boy, or something weird like that.
and that's a sore spot for Dio, so he decides to test the mask on one of them, stabs one in the throat, and uses the mask on the other. But oh no, it actually turns him into a vampire, and he nearly kills Dio. And we see the first. We also see the first instance of what Dylan you called Araki's obsession with arms being cut lengthwise.
Yes, it's very strange because normally when you see like limbs being cut, it's like down
Regular.
yeah, like you just it just cuts the
Lop it
limb
off.
off and like it's just weird because it's like cut the other way, like long ways, so like the arm is like cut in half and
It's
it's
Well,
like
I
just
a
mean,
weird.
objectively speaking, that's the more sinister thing to do because it would hurt more.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's just really strange.
except Jonathan also does it later to Tarkus.
Yeah. He
Yeah, but
also
It's
does it
Marcus
to
can't kill
Dio's whole
someone because of his
body.
son.
oh yeah. It's because it's supposed to be like an action horror manga, so like
Yeah.
you got to be gross with the gory.
Yeah. With no like actual anatomy inside, it's all just red. You
Well,
yeah.
I
don't
mean,
get to
would
see
you
the
want to see the
bones.
chopped up bones and
I
arteries
mean
and shit?
if I was in this for like an actual like a what Mike said, I don't remember. If I was
Neither
in it for
does
what Mike said, then I would want to see the bones, yeah.
horror.
Bones.
Wow.
Bones.
Uh, Speaking of body horror, he tries to suck Dio's blood, but in JoJo, vampires are pretty different, and one of the ways they're different is that instead of sucking blood through the fangs, they suck blood by jamming their fingers into you and sucking it through them, which is very freaky and unique, and I like it.
Very freaky and also
Very freaky and unique, and I hate it.
for some reason it doesn't always like leave a mark on them. I don't
Oh yeah,
like they like stick their hand under the skin. It's so weird.
it like
They're
never leaves a mark
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, they're like manipulating the mass to like move the like flesh out of the way to get to the veins. And they're like
Something like
fucking
that.
Danny Phantom phasing their fingers into the blood vessels or some shit.
It's weird.
So
There was one time where Dio was just holding fucking an artery in his hand and it's like, yeah,
Oh
you'll
yeah.
know what happened if I do fuck this up. Okay.
Yeah, it's weird. But that's also when we see the main weakness of the vampires in JoJo is still sunlight. Uh, and that's when we go back to the Joestar Mansion, and Jonathan is back. He's back with Speed. He's back. Speedwagon's there. They found Wang Chun, Chang Chen, uh, Wang. Uh,
The
and
Chinaman.
they the the Oriental, as they say
Yes.
occasionally. Uh,
Yeah, so he's there. They just corner Dio, and Dio's
pretty
like, "Oh
much.
shit."
They
Can
don't
you
even
believe that? Can you
they
believe
don't
that
even do the
Wang
usual.
Chen was based on his real roommate?
Wait, really?
Yeah,
Wait,
I don't
wait,
believe you.
what?
Wang Chen is based on Hirohiko Araki's college roommate.
Yeah, you're lying.
That sounds like another Oda has extramarital affairs thing. Are you
Yeah.
making a joke?
What can I say? I love to like
Lie?
I love to make people that inspire me sound
You
horrible.
like to lie and cheat? Damn.
So the thing is, people
No
actually do that
dignity.
kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Jeez.
Yeah, I know.
you ever seen
It's
Fat
just weird.
Albert? All the
What
Yes.
do you mean?
freaky goons in Fat Albert are based on real people that Bill Cosby knew in real life.
And they're all ugly?
And he made them all deformed and shit.
Yeah.
Nice.
Speaking of deformed and shit, Dio rejects his humanity.
Damn, that's like a deformation of the human spirit or something.
Totally.
He's like being human is inherently limiting. There's only so much you could do, so I'm just gonna turn into something not human.
Well, yeah,
Mm,
that's I made a note about that right before we have Speedwagon. Like Dio kind of like tries to get through this with some like crocodile tears in order to get or Jonathan closer. And Speedwagon's like, don't even give him an inch. This I can smell evil on this guy. He's rotten to the core, pure evil. And
doesn't he
like,
say he smells like shit?
yeah, he
Does-
stinks worse than shit.
Yeah.
And I feel like Speedwagon's call out of Dio saying he's been evil of birth kind of pushed Dio over the edge. Like any and all pretense he gave himself of I deserve getting the Joestar portion because X and Y, it like went away right here. He's basically reacting like, oh, I'm pure evil. Yeah, I guess you're right. Guess I'll reject my humanity. Fuck you.
You want pure evil? I'll show you pure evil.
And also vampirism. But yeah, he uses the mask and he stabs at Jonathan, but George Joestar gets in the way, and Dio is able to use those to become a vampire. But before we see that, he's shot out of the room, and they think he's dead. So we are able to have a little death scene between Jonathan and George.
And we also got a little bit of a flashback.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we see uh fucking Dario Brando stole the ring from George, and he gets caught by the police, and George is like, yeah, he's
I
good to
gave him
go.
that.
I gave him that, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's
I guess the point of it is like to show how good a guy George is,
Yeah, and like he
even that.
even knowing
Even,
all this, he still accepted Dio as his son.
yeah, pretty much. And what the
Um,
fuck?
that's not even
Look,
how
it's
you
my
spell that's
manatee.
not even how you spell manatee. Oh my God.
I want Dio-et.
Dude, MILF Dio?
Oh, I can get behind that.
You want to get behind that, don't you?
What was I saying? What was I about to say before MILF Dio?
I don't
Um,
know.
fuck. Oh yeah, it was that whole flashback was basically meant to like show that like the pureness of the Joestar spirit, I guess, and the copper who's like he's like, damn it, an angel was taken from us. This pure, kind gentleman is lost to us now. But Speedwagon's like, no, don't you see? His will live on within Jonathan. He he will carry on George's spirit and like inherited will and like spirit down the bloodline of the Joestar family is like a huge thing, a huge overarching theme throughout all of the parts of JoJo. So having this very like a very clear cut and like talked about example of it as our first real example is good. I like that.
It's like the inciting incident.
This is a good start of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's pretty
kind of. Yeah,
cool, but
this is
it's
the
missing
start
the
of it.
most important part. George doesn't turn into spirit smoke.
True.
Oh yeah, that's something that happens a lot later in
Wait,
JoJo.
really?
Well,
Damn.
we see when characters die. I think it's mostly in the anime, but like when certain characters die, we kind of like see the spirit leaving their body. Mainly when like heroes die,
Okay.
see
And
like
they look
little
like
spirit
puffs of
fuzz,
smoke.
little
So I
spirit
started
fuzzies.
calling it spirit smoke.
Hmm.
Interesting.
But yeah, but it turns out Dio's alive and he's now a vampire and he starts killing all the cops, including like pushing his fingers through, like smacking the guy in the back of the head, and his
Yeah.
like upper face like explodes forward.
That was really strange when I first saw that. I was like,
Ow.
okay. His face is just like stretched at first, and then it just completely comes off.
Yeah,
That was strange.
it's
There was a
strange,
lot
but
of really weird parts where, not even just in this part, but just in general, where like they would like rip off people's faces and shit, and it would be just weird.
stretch weird. Yeah. Well, horror manga. Um. Oh yeah, yeah, Geo being transformed by the blood of George and the stone masks that belong to the Joestar family. It also kind of compounds another long running theme, which is that everything Dio uses to empower himself, or everything he tries to use to empower himself, is stolen from the Joestars, mostly Jonathan. And
That makes sense.
that's something that always is a very like pervading theme, even into part 3, and even after he like officially dies. Like it's still kind of a thing. It's
Um,
always taking.
that's strange, but okay.
Um. Oh yeah, even Speedwagon is afraid of this vampiric Dio.
Oh yeah, I noticed that. It's like, wow,
It
what a high
it
opinion
it
you
lo-
have of yourself.
well, it's Jonathan's thought bubble, but like Speedwagon having an open mouth and it being right below him, like it may like make you think at first glance that he's saying about himself, even
Wait, he wasn't?
Speedwagon.
Because
Yeah.
Speedwagon does say shit about how cool Speedwagon is.
Yeah, he does say Speedwagon withdraws coolly out loud about himself later.
Well, no
Yeah,
one
I
else is around to hear it.
Yeah,
I
so it
really
wouldn't be
thought he said that.
well, it's not out of the realm of possibility for him to say even Speedwagon is afraid.
Yeah.
I wish he did that more. Like he's fighting
Yeah.
zombies and he's like, even Speedwagon is having a tough time.
Oh my God.
Even when he's an old man in part
Dude,
2 and he's
that would
like,
be like
even
an amazing trait.
Speedwagon. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and apparently Speedwagon's been around the world somehow.
Yeah, that was
Even though
strange
Yeah, even
also.
though he's like a homeless poor person or some shit.
he's like a mugger from the slums, but he talks about like things he's seen around the world, like
Yeah.
Caribbean typhoons and like strange plants and animals in Africa. And also later he talks about seeing Eskimos treating frostbite.
And he doesn't seem that much
Yeah.
older than Jojo either. So
Yeah,
it's like, what?
he's like the same age. He's like 19 or 20, and he's like a poor kid from the slums.
But
He's
he's
only
been
So
all
poor
over the
because
world.
he's only
yeah.
poor because he won a lottery scratch off and wasted it all in 6 months.
Honestly, I'd believe that. I'd completely believe that. Like, oh, I mugged somebody. It turned out to be fucking rich. Oh, I can either spend this like wisely and live out like not as a mugger, or I can go on a fucking world tour for myself. Speedwagon world tour.
Dude, that is the
It's
headcanon now.
it's Speedwagon across the globe. All over the world, you'll find stories of people saying, "What was with that weird fucker with the bowler hat looking at us weird?"
Why is his name Speedwagon? It should be fucking Mr. Worldwide.
There's legends of Speedwagon in like all disparate like cultures. Like there's like this there's this completely untouched
Isolated tribe.
isolated tribe of people on an island in the Pacific who only know about Speedwagon.
Who's that weirdo? That'd honestly be hilarious if, like, in
He's
part
like their
three,
god.
in like part three, when they're going like on a across the world journey to Egypt, if like they stopped in one place and like they're like, you're the first like they say to old Joseph Joestar, you're the first white guy we've actually liked since that weirdo Speedwagon came by and watched us like look at our weird animals and said stuff like Struth and by Jove, and he had a weird hat, and Joseph's like, oh my god.
Dude,
Oh my god.
this is a
Oh,
wonderful
shit.
canon we're constructing.
I love it. Mr. Speed Worldwide.
Oh my god.
Uh, yeah, but back to the fight that breaks out. It's Jonathan versus Dio, and it's a good fight. They start out on the floor. Jonathan tries to use a spear from one of the knight armor sets, or like maybe it was hanging on the wall. I forget.
No, it
But
was
it's
on an armor stand thing.
okay. But he takes that and he tries to stab Dio through, but Dio like puts his hand out and it stabs through his hand, but he's also able to stop it, which is really funky and cool compared to just like grabbing it normally and stopping it. He's also able to like twist it around and stab Jonathan with it.
Well, he didn't
Well,
twist it around. What happened was they like had like a power struggle against each other, and
yeah,
it
he like
ended up
bent it back.
bending the whole thing and breaking it, and it just happened to like fly over and land in his
Yeah.
shoulder.
Also, Speedwagon gets like a broken stuff and also nearly dies to a zombie, but Jonathan saves him because he's his best waifu.
He's a good boy. Good boy.
Love it. Then they start a fire because they figured, okay, I can't brute force this. Maybe got to be a little more strategic. I'll burn him alive, but like even normal flames as they're going can't hurt him enough to negate Dio's regeneration. So
They need to get burning hotter and hotter.
yeah, yeah. Jonathan lets the fire spread, tells Speedwagon to leave, and it honestly takes Speedwagon a while to leave the burning building. And Jonathan,
We have
like,
like multiple broken bones at this point, or
yeah,
Yeah, his arm is broken and some of his ribs are broken.
yeah.
Right.
And Jonathan beckons Dio to come up so that Dio won't attack Speedo, and also to like buy him some time to get the flames really burning.
And
And
Dio
instead of
starts walking up the wall like Spider-Man.
That was
yeah,
epic.
I love that. It's so it's like it's very
It's really cool.
it's very cool. It's very unique. It's like it's what's the word? Iconic. It's a
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
iconic thing of Dio. It's even in
It's
the
even in
OP.
the yeah, it's in the OP.
Yeah. So Jonathan is able to lure him to the top, and they start fighting again. And Jonathan pushes him over the edge, and Dio like kicks him, and then he's like, "Goodbye, Jojo." And Jonathan falls, but he uses the tip of the broken spear to smash into the wall and hoist himself back up. Falls a bit short, but he uses his belt to grab onto Dio, and they start falling again. He
That
uses the knife, yeah,
that part where he just like pulls out his belt
and he
and
uses it
uses
as like
that.
a grappling hook.
Yeah, that was
That was a bit
epic.
dumb.
It was
It was
dumb, but
dumb,
it
but
was also epic.
it really was, yeah. And he uses the knife that Dio used to kill George to stab into Dio, and they're able to fall. He like instinctively kicks off the wall to make Dio land onto the statue that's been hanging around in the foyer since like chapter 1.
It's the
So like
goddess of love.
yeah, the guardian saint of House Joestar apparently. That's pretty
Yeah.
much the play-by-play of the fight. But I wanted to mention that like for being the first like real battle in JoJo and being very, very normal compared to even later
Yeah.
parts in part one. It's very well done.
Yeah, it's pretty like easy to follow. Like you know what's going on the whole time.
It's easy to follow, and you can tell that like Araki had been wanting to draw this for a while because it's very well drawn, and like all the different steps are like given setup. We knew that there was this statue in the foyer of the mansion. We knew Dio had the knife. We knew about the strength of the vampires from Dio's encounter with the homeless dude. I think he was homeless. I don't know.
It
The
was just an
guy
old guy.
Belt was part of Jonathan's design. He had the spear that we knew was in the foyer too, and we knew he had the broken bit as he was falling. Like nothing feels like an ass pull, really.
Well,
It's a very
actually,
well
he didn't have the tip of the spear with him. He like threw it away before like he fell down. And so it just somehow like miraculously ended up next to him while he was falling.
Oh,
Complete
really?
coincidence. Yes. It
Oops.
was really weird.
Yeah. Well,
But it's still cool.
aside from that, it's a very well thought out fight. Yeah. You know.
Yeah. Um, one thing if you notice like the knife that he used, it was actually originally it was the knife that the old dude used against Dio when Dio first tried out the stone mask, and then Dio used it um to first turn the guy into the vampire.
Oh,
That's
really?
the same
I,
knife, yeah. And
I,
then,
no,
he
well, I
used it
knew.
to kill George, and then
Well, he Jonathan like gives a little speech about how it's the same knife he used against George, but I forgot that Dio took it from the dude.
yeah, it's the same.
Hmm.
I noticed because it has a pretty unique design.
Hmm.
It's pretty cool.
Very pog.
Yeah.
I was wondering if that knife would ever like show up again like later on,
Nah,
but it
just
has
Nah,
not.
he fights with like regular ass fucking kitchen knives later on.
Like you would think there would be like some like unique items that would keep showing up over and over again, like the stone mask, which ends up just getting destroyed anyways,
or Luck and
Um,
Pluck.
or
each
luck
part
and pluck.
kind of
Yeah,
has a couple things.
yeah,
Well, with Dio's like new vampire abilities, a knife isn't really like. I guess he felt like he didn't need it or anything. Plus, it probably just got lost in the rubble. Just like Speedwagon's cool hat. Let's take a second to mourn Speedwagon's cool ass hat.
yeah. That shit is gone. He got a new
This
hat,
is-
but still.
He fucking grifted a new hat off
Yeah,
of a corpse.
yeah.
Grifted?
That was strange.
I mean, he's not gonna wear it. Uh,
Yeah, no, no, but I mean, like when his like other friends showed up like moments later, and they're just like, and he has the hat, and they don't say anything.
Does he still have the hat? Start of chapter 17? Can't remember. Oh yeah, he does. When he visits Jonathan in the hospital, doesn't he have the hat? I can't
Oh
remember.
yeah, I think he might. I don't know.
Could have could
Chapter
have
17, you said?
chapter 17 because I have it labeled in my notes right here that chapter 17
No,
is
he
the.
doesn't have it.
Oh, okay. I guess I was misremembering. So yeah, he did lose it in the fire. I knew it was chapter 17 because I have it in my notes that chapter 17 is the real birth of Speed Waifu.
Oh.
Uh, as Jonathan's recuperating in the hospital, Speedwagon and his friends drive in to see him. Speedwagon gets out like, "I don't need the cane. All I need is the spirit to help my friend." And then he just falls over and he's like, "The cane, give me the cane, give me the cane." And his friends are like, "We fucking told you."
The cane.
Give me the cane. He tries to get in to see Jonathan, but the nurse taking care of him very coldly tells him, "No, leave." So he does leave, and then he just breaks in late, like right after. But and like he keeps talking about like I need to be there for him, even if I'm just holding his hand while he's unconscious. I need to help him regain the spirit to live. Very very big of you,
What he
Mr.
needs
Speedo.
now is spirit.
What he needs now is me to just go down on him, give him the best tongue bath this world's ever seen.
Yep.
Mike, what
Not gay.
wonderful thing to say, because I was gonna make a joke about him being a cat boy later on.
Nice.
Cat boy, okay. Does that make
Airball,
Joe?
more like speedball.
But yeah, it turns out the nurse was actually Arena the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The anime skips reason for why she hasn't been around, and the manga says that she was studying with her doctor dad in India for the past 7 years, so that's why
Yeah.
Jonathan never saw her after that one
And
time.
then it was just a complete coincidence that he happened to go to the hospital that her father owned or whatever, and
Yeah.
she was there at the same time.
Well, yeah,
Complete coincidence. It's
yeah.
actually I earlier we were talking about some other stuff involving part two, and you know you told me like that there's like a pretty major theme going on, you know, throughout JoJo about like fate.
Yeah,
And
fate is a big
yeah, I
deal
thought a
in
little bit
JoJo.
about this moment too because it's
They're
like they
fated
were
to be
fated to be together. Yeah, because like it's just completely random that they would somehow randomly meet up again like this. And then Speedwagon even says something like that during this part.
yeah, they're like fated to be together.
Yeah.
But it's a nice reunion. Speedwagon notes that she must have been like constantly cooling his burns for like at least a full day. And Jonathan finally wakes up and he's so happy to see her, and she's happy to see he's alive, and it's nice.
It's pretty
It's
cool.
just like how he was at like the end of his rope with Dio before he met her. Just with now he's lost everything. He's meeting her again at just the right time to lift his spirits, and it's nice. Oh yeah, and also Dio's alive. He
Claude.
Wang Chen tries to like dig out some cool stuff from the mansion rubble, and Dio grabs him and vampirifies him. And next chapter, we see him again. Uh, the anime skims this scene too, but the manga it starts out with us seeing Jack the Ripper, famous killer man, killing a lady, and Dio approaches him in his cool studded solid gold wheelchair being pushed by Wang Shan, talking about the evil elites and all that crazy shit,
Man,
and he mind controls. Yeah.
so I'm familiar with the folklore character that is Jack the Ripper. I'm
No, he was a
familiar.
real guy.
Well,
They just never caught him.
it's sort of like folklore because it's an urban legend kind of thing.
It's
Even
Yeah, I
basically
guess.
even if
become
it
like
really happened,
fiction because it's just
it's
changes.
famous
It's
enough
Yeah.
and shit.
it's so famous that like people everywhere know it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm familiar with Jack the Ripper. I kept fucking reading his name as Zack the Ripper, and I don't fucking know why.
Zack the Ripper.
Yes, I
It's
don't
this
know why.
sweet life of Zack the Ripper.
Nice. I
Zack
mean,
Hadel the Ripper.
I mean, it's like an alternate universe or whatever, so it could be Zack the Ripper.
Why wasn't this Jack the Ripper from Black Clover? I want to see
Yeah,
him
the
fight
fuck?
Jonathan.
Why wasn't it Barack the Ripper?
Aw,
I can't believe you just made that joke. How
can't
insensitive.
I can't believe you've done this. Oh yeah,
Um,
I'm pretty sure yeah I made sure before we started recording the anime leaves out the explanation of how Dio survived the
yeah,
fire, even
that
though he
was
very
completely skipped also.
was dying. Yeah, apparently a support pillar fell and broke the statue, and Dio was able to, I guess, crawl into a not burning part.
Well, the whole scene was completely skipped. The one where Dio was
No,
uh
the anime shows the scene with Jack the Ripper. It's just kind of
no, it shows the scene with Jack the Ripper, but it completely gets rid of the scene, you know, where Wang Chen pulls out Dio and
no,
stuff.
it's still there. It's just post credits.
Oh, I that's why I didn't see it.
Ah, yeah, I missed it the first time I watched too. So you're not alone in that.
Man, what kind
That's
of
true.
freaking Goomba put something after the credits? I mean, we're
No,
already done watching, am I right?
normally I pick up on that because
You gotta
normally
watch the end.
there's like
You
a
gotta
an extra minute or so like if you like actually look at the timeline, there's
It
usually
was
an
so
extra
short.
minute or so compared to normal. But I guess it was just so short that I didn't even notice.
You gotta watch the end credit scene, or else you'll turn into a Goomba.
You gotta stay there until the theater lights turn back on. What do you mean you're watching it at home?
It doesn't mean there's
Um,
no lights.
oh yeah. Next chapter begins the arc called Jack the Rip, or this chapter started at Jack the Ripper and Zeppeli the Strange, or maybe it was Zeppeli the Eccentric. I forget.
The
Point
strange.
is,
Zeppeli the fucking gay
we
person.
Zeppeli the weirdo. Yeah, and we meet
Zeppeli the
him.
gay Italian.
We meet Baron Zeppeli. I don't know what he's the Baron of, but Baron Zeppeli. And we meet him eating some sandwich and doing some crazy jumping shit. And he pokes Jonathan in the belly, and he's like, "If I'm going to help you, Dio survived, but I'm going to help you to defeat him because I know this thing." And Jonathan's like, "My arm is healing." Randomly produces big rock. I can lift this big rock.
Whoa, it's a rock.
I can conjure big
Pioneers get
rocks.
to ride those babies for miles.
uh, um, and yeah, this is where we first meet Zappelli. He's got a different hat when we first see him in the manga. It's like this rainbow hat, and then he gets
Really?
the checkered one later. Yeah, in the anime, he's got the checkered one from the start.
Oh yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, they do a lot. The anime kind of like change it very makes tweaks and changes to a lot of the outfits to like I guess streamline things and designs. You know.
True.
But yeah, Zeppeli is a great mentor. I like that he's fun. He's a nice eccentric counterpart to the modest Jonathan. He's got a cool intro, and I also like that he's kind of like compared to other mentor characters, not necessarily in JoJo, but just like in other shows that
Yeah.
are like are kind of emotionally closed off and like, oh, you gotta kind of get through to his heart. And he's like, when they first show like emotion and like talk nicely about their students, a big thing. Zeppeli is a very like openly emotional person from the get-go. You see him like laughing and like talking to Jojo like a friend, smiling. When he talks about his backstory, we see him like very clearly tearing up and kind of shaking about it, like because like yeah, it's obviously a very traumatic, life-defining thing for him, but he's not like being stone-faced about it. We see him very obviously getting emotional about it, and that happens a couple times too. And it's he's a good character. I like him.
I feel like that's a pretty like just normal thing in JoJo. I mean, like I haven't actually seen the other parts really, but I feel like uh a lot of the times the characters, they grow on each other very quickly, like they become friends quickly. Like Speedwagon, he just uh like out of nowhere just became like JoJo's best friend for some reason. Uh
I'd say that
it's kind of
I'd
like
say
that.
that's true. I'd say that's true. Other parts, like part five, for instance, goes more into like showing the JoJo earning the trust of his companions, but like a lot of the times JoJo characters become very attached to one another very quickly. And
Yeah,
also,
they have like a camaraderie, like a brotherhood kind of, you could
yeah,
say.
and it happens pretty quickly, all things considered. But something connected to that I really like about JoJo is that like people are very open with their emotions in JoJo. I feel, it, unless they're like
They
made
don't seem very
specifically,
insecure.
unless they're made specifically not to be very emotional, like Jotaro, for like reasons, they're all very like they can be emotional, and the story doesn't punish them for being like openly emotional, crying when they're sad, like getting heated when they're angry, openly laughing with each other when they're happy. The story doesn't like shame them for that compared to like I don't know. I can't think of a good example, but like I feel like a lot of times action heroes the author just kind of like makes them kind of emotionally
They're
constipated.
they're supposed to be have no emotions and just
Yeah, he's
be
stoic.
a blank slate for the viewer to put themselves
Yeah,
onto.
like Jonathan, Joseph, Josuke, uh, they're all very openly emotional, and plenty of Joe Bros too, and it's nice. It's nice to
Hmm.
see.
It's like an open defiance of that.
Yeah, I like it.
Pretty cool.
Remember,
They got
kids,
their
real men show their emotions.
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
They've
Be
got
more
their
like Speedwagon, kids.
true Speedwagon, the
Ultimate role
apex
model,
male.
the alpha.
Yes.
Um,
Don't be
and
like
yeah,
Chad Dio. Be like Alpha
the
Speedwagon.
speed. I love it. Yeah, and then we get into Hamon. Uh, we see a very fun verse time where he punches a frog and doesn't hurt the frog, but he breaks a boulder.
That was
He hurt that
bizarre,
poor
I'd say.
boulder.
What'd you say, Ash?
He hurt that poor boulder.
That's true. Why wasn't Ariana crying over the boulder? She was only worried about the frog.
I wonder if the frog felt any pain.
I don't think so.
Well, I mean, Zeppeli can do like healing punches, so if it hurt, it immediately got better anyway.
I wonder if that frog felt any gratitude for what had happened.
I wonder where that frog is today.
I wonder if the
Because
frog
we all
is
know they don't die.
It
did
became one of Giorno's frogs.
did I wonder
Giorno
if the
has the
frog
inherited will of that frog.
actually got Hamon powers.
Dude, I want to see a tribe of Hamon using frogs in part 9. We were taught the ways by an ancient ancestor.
You see, kids, Hamon is this special breathing technique that lets you control your life energy. And
And
if for any reason you're unable to breathe, you can't use your powers at all because the lungs are the most vital part of the Hamon users.
oh yeah,
Fuck, you know what I'm trying to
yeah, yeah.
say.
Part 2
Fuck,
has
you made this joke before.
a instance where like the JoJo part 2 happens upon like another Hamon user who was like killed. Like they very obviously have their lungs completely destroyed, and he's just like they went for his lungs. He must not have been able to fight back because his lungs were completely destroyed, and lungs are needed to use Hamon.
Yeah.
Wait, what's contradictory about that?
No,
That
it's just, he would have died if he was a normal
Yeah,
person and couldn't use his
oh
lungs.
yeah.
oh I
He
guess.
probably he probably didn't die because he couldn't fight back from not being able to use Hamon. He probably died because his lungs were eviscerated.
Well, I think the point is that if
Yeah,
even if like if he still was able to use Hamon, but his lungs were still fucked, he would have at least been able to maybe win the fight by using his powers, even if he would have died
yeah.
anyways.
That's
But he didn't get the
probably,
chance.
but it's still a very silly thing. But that's part 2. We're in part 1, and we're just now receiving our explanation of what Hamon is. It's energy carried by the breath through the bloodstream and released through your extremities as a rippling energy force that gives off. It's like a positive energy. It's the power of good vibes, baby. That comes out in the form of like it mimics sunlight, so it's especially deadly to vampires created by the stone mask because the stone mask is like bad vibes and they're like opposing energy forces, the vampiric essence and Hamon, I guess.
It's like fighting fire with fire.
Breathing energy that mimics the sun so that you could harm creatures of the night. Where else have we heard that, anime fans?
Herm, I
Other
want the
places.
Demon
Demon
Slayer.
Slayer.
Oh,
Playa. Yeah.
Kimetsu no Yogurt.
I can't believe Kimetsu no Yogurt ripped off JoJo's Bizarre Adventure 30 years in the future.
I can't believe that either. How dare?
How dare?
How dare?
Uh, yeah, that's basically what Hamon is, and Jonathan was given the gift of being able to use Hamon by Zeppeli fingering him in the belly button.
Yeah. Apt
starts training him,
description.
and he starts training him in the ways of Hamon so that he can defeat Dio, who actually survived. Whoa! It's it's odd that like, well, it's not odd, but like, since the method of vampire creation has changed from like how it normally goes in fiction to being like this latent human ability brought out by the mask, Araki needed like this new excuse created to make it so that like sunlight is still the enemy of vampires. So he comes up with this like Hamon dueling energies, dueling ripples kind of thing. Like basically as an excuse to make it so that sunlight still hurts them, yeah.
Sun breathing.
Sun boy. Why doesn't Jonathan just pack a bunch of Sunny D and spray it on Dio?
True.
Unleash the power of the sun.
Sunny D.
Yeah. Start training. We get Zeppeli's backstory of him as a young lad on a ship that got destroyed by the mask. Well, they discovered the mask, and it ruined them when his dad tried to use it. Yeah, it's a very touching scene, I
He
guess.
also lost his father.
Yeah,
How sad.
and
To the mask.
they both lost their fathers to the mask. It's a connection. And we also get a fight with Wang Chen that the anime omits entirely.
Yeah.
Well, it was only like one punch, and he ran away and
Yeah,
told
but
Dio,
it
Dio, they could use
was
sunlight energy
important.
somehow. What the fuck? I'm
Yeah.
hurting.
It was important because like it actually it let Dio
Yeah.
know that they were coming and about the Hamon and
I
everything.
mean, yeah, it is. It's important and all, but it is like
It's
something that's easy to skip.
It's easy to skip, but like that's still like
It has
required the anime
implications.
to like. It still required the anime to like write around its absence and like make new excuses for like why like Speedwagon is able to use his connections to find out where Dio is, and like why Dio knows they're coming. You know,
Suppose.
he's got for anime only. Is Wang Chen used Wolverine claws? Well, I say used as in like, used implies that he was able to actually do anything. All he really did was get punched.
He wielded Wolverine claws.
Yeah,
One of the most underrated, epic, dumb anime weapons, in my
they were
opinion.
they were even better. They were even bigger than Wolverine claws. They were more like if you watched One Piece, they were more like Captain Kuro's claws, with like just a sword on each hand.
It
You know,
reminded me
I
of
love that
the
shit.
claws from
claws
the
from
villain
the depth.
from the X-Men 2 movie who has the claws, the adamantine claws that are the fingernails. Yes, the lady.
Wolverine.
Reminded me of that. She fought Wolverine.
She Wolverine, his counterpart.
Sure.
Cool. Oh yeah, I feel like they may have also skipped that fight because it was like meant to give a big explanation of how the zoom punch works, which like I guess we don't really need that explanation either because the zoom punch
Yeah.
is used very sparingly.
Well,
Man,
it's
I
only used a
can't
couple
believe they can
times.
do
Like
the Gum Gum pistol.
it's only used a couple times earlier on. Like in the last couple of fights, it's not used at all.
Yeah, it's used once near the end of part
But
2.
honestly, like it doesn't really need to be explained in this one fight because it was explained just fine enough, when
Right.
Zappelli actually used it for the first time and was like, "Yeah, this is the zoom punch."
Pretty much.
I don't know.
He
Makes more
taught him that
sense.
because Zappelli taught him the zoom punch because he foresaw the 2020 pandemic and he knew that people would need a way to fight each other through their computers. So he created the zoom punch.
That's true. Oh, Mike, I heard something.
What?
I heard you sucked your own dick.
Oh, uh, you heard me doing that, or you heard that I did that?
I'll let you think.
Just let me ponder.
Yeah. Oh my god. I don't know why it's so funny.
Yeah, they leave for Win Knight's lot. The town they give some info in the town on the manga. I was originally going to say that the existence of the prison in Midnight's Lot isn't touched upon again when it feels like that would be like a big deal. But considering Dio has so many like loyal followers at the end fight, and like what he was talking about with Jack the Ripper about the evil elite, that's probably where he got most of his zombies at the end.
Yeah, you got them from all the dead people.
Yes. And this is where Jack the Ripper enters the scene. As the three heroes, Jonathan, Zeppeli, and Speedwagon, are going through a tunnel, he attacks their coach driver and the horses. He hides. He puts a horse head on top of the dead carriage guy, and then hides inside of the horse body, like a true freako.
Because vampires can manipulate flesh and shit like that.
Yo,
And
that was
I like it.
so fucking strange and
Yeah.
bizarre.
It's spooky.
Bizarre. He also has a bunch of like knives in his body, along with his one weird knife. Zeppeli starts fighting him, and he uses wine as a weapon, and that's honestly fly as hell. That's honestly one of the most
He just
boss ways
he
you can do
spits it out
things.
like so fast that it becomes like a projectile weapon.
Hamon cutter.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Pretty cool.
reminds me. That reminds me of something I wanted to say about Hamon. They say like they talk about like it's like connected to a way of martial arts called sendo or sendo.
Yeah.
Sendo.
Sendo.
Which is means way of the hermit or / wizard. But I like that. That's kind of like remembered into part 3 because the Hamon user of part 3 that also the only Hamon user / stand user in the story has the stand hermit purple. Nice little callback.
Oh,
that's neat.
wait, that's the only character who can use Hamon and a stand? Can't
Yes.
Joseph also do that?
That's
That is
Joseph.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Hamon is phased out completely in part 3 with only Joseph like having it.
Yeah. It's weird though, cause like you could just do both, and it's cool, and it's just better.
Yeah, but having 2 power systems makes things messy usually.
Yeah, I suppose.
Especially with such a wonky power system as Hamon, it does a lot of crazy shit, you know? Feels like every fight that has Hamon in it, we learn something new it can do.
That's
Yeah.
And
true.
that continues into part 2.
Me and my homies hate soft power systems.
Water conducts it. Also metal. We can use it to magnetize leaves. We can use it to control bodies, control snakes. We can use it to make poison come out of our bloodstream.
Yeah, that was really weird.
Yeah,
Well,
it does a lot
the
of
idea with
shit.
the poison out of the bloodstream is that that's like a normal thing where like Hamon users can control their own flesh to a certain extent.
Yeah, like it all makes sense, but like it's all stuff that we wouldn't have like
Thought
thought
of
about
immediately.
doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So Jonathan is told to finish off Jack the Ripper. We see like a little like
Wait, Dylan.
thing.
I don't know if you're fully able to grasp how dumb and stupid Hamon is yet. Because we learn later that water is a good conductor of Hamon, but ice isn't, even though ice is water.
It's a completely different state. It's different.
Huh.
Ice doesn't conduct electricity. At least not to the same
Sure.
extent that water does.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hamon, well, it's still a dumb.
Hamon is
power
dumb.
Dumb.
Let me make fun of things.
No, you're not allowed.
Okay.
Let me tell you how dumb it is. So yeah, we get the nice little sentiment that when Zeppeli's essentially throwing Jonathan into the deep end of the pool, he's saying the North Wind created the Vikings, and he in the manga he also tells a little story about a fisherman fighting off a shark or something, and Jonathan's able to complete his Hamon training and kill Jack the Ripper. It turns out he did that. It was Jonathan Joestar who killed the murderer guy.
I can't believe it. Why would he kill him when he's a murderer? Isn't that kind of counterproductive?
Yeah,
Dude,
Yeah.
we should track
don't you
down the we should track down the Joestar family and like give them a reward for putting that freak in the grave.
Didn't you know
don't you
that
guys don't
killing
you know
him?
that if you kill one killer, the amount of killers remains the same in the world? Didn't you know that?
Unless the
Yeah, but
person
what
that
if you
killed the
kill a
killer is
couple
also a
of them?
killer already. Holy shit.
Oh
What if you
fuck!
Yeah, but what if you kill a couple of them?
Oh fuck!
That's good.
You're right.
What if you're a serial killer who only kills killers?
But if you're a serial killer that
Isn't
only
there a
kills
TV
serial,
show about that?
Maybe. Anyways,
Or something?
Jojo kills the serial killer. The end. Story's
and
over. That's
yeah.
part one of Jojo.
Yeah, like fart one. Oh,
So we move on. We meet Poco, our tag along kid for the part. He's
It's a kid.
Mike,
yeah.
what music reference is he named after?
Oh yeah, I'll go over some more music references. Speedwagon is a reference to the 80s band REO Speedwagon. Baron's Will A. Zeppeli is a reference to Led Zeppelin. Jack the Ripper is obviously a reference to Michael Jackson. If you don't understand the connection, then you're just kind of dumb.
That's not true. You're lying to me.
It's very true.
See, everything that Jack the Ripper did to women, Michael Jackson did to children.
Michael Jackson did to the music industry.
Michael Jackson did to his pet monkey.
Michael Jackson did to my
bubbles.
mother.
Ah, crap.
Yeah. You
Um,
just touched on a sore topic, didn't you?
Dang. Then I'll distract you with some more music facts. Wang Chen is named after the 80s British pop duo Wang Chung. And Poco is named after the soft rock band Poco, who wrote one of my favorite songs, Crazy Love. So got on Poco.
Mike, if
What?
we get to 10 subscribers, will you do a cover of Crazy Love?
We're already at 12 subscribers.
What?
Wait,
There's our
I know.
fucking play button.
I know we're living big now, baby.
I can't believe it.
Please
I thought we
subscribe.
were at 3. The 3 of us. We're
I
the only
What are you
subscribers.
talking about?
love listening to my own voice.
We have like 80 views and they're all us just listening to our own shit.
You joke, but that's what our fucking Let's Play channel in high school was.
Yeah.
Oh no, an
True.
awkward topic. I'll distract them by talking about Poco. He's the tag along kid for this part. He's pretty bland, but they at least give him an arc of some kind, becoming brave, and they give him kind of like a usefulness of being there much later on. But for now, he's just there to be the hypnotized guy that is able to lead the trio into where Dio is lurking, waiting for them. And as night falls, he rises a zombie army from the graves. Yeah.
Oh my god. It turns to night at that exact moment.
Yeah.
What a coincidence.
I'm glad that Araki kind of seemed to know beforehand that Speedwagon with no Hamon would end up just kind of standing around in fights if Araki didn't give him any like something to do. So I'm glad that he at least shows Speedy trying to help, like grabbing a hammer to fight and such. You know.
Yeah, he does some stuff.
It's nice that he at least tries. You know.
He even tries to learn Hamon and it doesn't work because he sucks.
Oh yeah. It doesn't work, and Zeppeli gives him the fingering, but he's like, I think I was off by a little bit. Sorry, Speedwagon. And Speedwagon's like, fuck you.
Honestly, he totally did that on purpose.
He also tries to walk on the water ripple Zeppeli made, but he just kind of sinks, and he's like, oh.
He's like, oh, this is just water, isn't it?
I can't Naruto run across this water like them.
I'm worse than Rock Lee.
Damn it.
Man, did you guys know that Zeppeli is literally Jesus? He's walking on water. Oh my God.
He's walking on sunshine. Whoa.
Welcome to my game theory episode where I talk about how Zeppeli is actually Jesus because of all the Jesus
Dylan,
references that he
shut the fuck
does.
up. We learn
And
about Canon JoJo
he
Jesus later
turns the
on.
wine
Yeah.
into projectile weapons, and
Jojo
that's
Jesus comes later.
that's a Jesus.
JoJo Jesus comes later, Dylan.
There's a JoJo that is Jesus, and there's a JoJo that fights with the power of Jesus.
Is
And I'm
this
not kidding in the
it?
slightest bit.
Okay. I will
JoJo
patiently
Jesus
wait.
comes later.
What?
JoJo
JoJo
Jesus comes later.
Jesus comes later.
Okay.
Just wait
He does
for it.
come later. That's true.
He's the spawn of the god Speedwagon.
True.
So yeah, Dio's there, and Zeppeli tries to fight him. He gives his famous "Hey, baby," and Dio gives his famous response to Zeppeli asking how many lives have you taken to heal those wounds? And he's like, "Do you remember how many bread you've eaten in your life?"
Like Speedwagon was the one who asks the question, and
No, it's Zeppeli.
Dio looks at Speedwagon and says, "Do you remember how many anchovies you've had in your life, you fucking cat boy?"
What? Damn it! You're right. I forgot Speedwagon is the world's first cat boy. I wouldn't be surprised if Araki invented the cat girl trope since he invented the yandere trope. I'm not kidding, Don.
No, I know. Oh, you're telling
What?
Dylan that.
Yeah,
He
Araki invented the yandere.
no way.
Yeah,
Well, the modern
part four.
Yandere, at least.
Part four, he invents the yandere.
When did that come out?
91, 92.
Really? There was no yandere before that?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. He's the hero we needed, inventing the yandere.
That's true. I didn't think of that.
So yeah, we get this fight and we see how Dio's powers evolve because he has this ice-based power, and like going with how vampirism is presented as like being an evolved human. I like that all of his power are themed around complete mastery of his body. It's not just like, oh, I have ice powers. It's that he's so mastered his body that he can flash freeze himself and send that coldness into people that are attacking him, thereby giving him ice powers. It kind of reminds me of how some quirks in My Hero Academia are presented. You know, how it's not just like a power; it's a power over the body that resembles other powers you've seen before. You know.
Yeah, it's interesting. Right?
Yeah.
Um,
They go into Dio decides, fuck it, I'm not fighting anymore because reasons. So he rises two long dead knights from the ground, Tarkus and Bruford. And you can really feel Rocky's love of fun facts come through with the backstory here because he gives them talks about like the training ground of Win Knight's Lot. He talks about Mary, Queen of Scots, and her conflict with Elizabeth I. Goes into detail with all that. You know, gives just plenty of fun facts going around.
we get a little history lesson. Yeah, that was
Pretty much.
interesting, I guess.
They even like talk about it. Jonathan says, I've read about these two in history class, and now they're trying to fucking murder me."
Dylan, I hope you're enjoying the fun facts because in part 3 we get like a 2-minute like sidetrack about Coca-Cola.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Uh, Coca-Cola. That's cool. I like it. Tastes like Coca-Cola.
Tastes like beans.
That's true.
Oh yeah, and as those two begin fighting, Jonathan Speedwagon uses his fiery red hot abs of justice to thaw out Zeppeli's arm.
That was strange.
That was strange, and this is why I think it was strange. He talks about Speedwagon mentions like he explicitly talks about Eskimos like quote putting the flesh of a seal around the arm to treat hypothermia or to treat frostbite. And Zeppeli reacts very emotionally. Like they had been bickering a lot, those two of them, and he Zeppeli very like I think he even has tears in his eyes. He says like I'm sorry I misjudged you, Speedwagon. I'm glad you're here. But like all he's really doing is pressing the arm against his abs. I feel like Araki probably intended for Speedwagon to like
Sacrifice
go full
himself.
well, not sacrifice his like life, but like go full tauntaun and like cut open his
Yeah,
belly
that's what
to
I
like
thought was
make a
gonna happen
real
at first.
seal. Yeah, I feel like Araki definitely intended for that to be the case,
It was
but
like,
like
nah, Speedwagon's got to still be around to do Speedwagon stuff. So
yeah, like I don't think he definitely didn't intend for Speedwagon to die, but I definitely
he would have
get
been
the
out of
feeling that
action.
yeah, he like that's probably one of the he definitely backed out for some reason, whether it be like it too hard to have Speedwagon stay around with an injury like that, or maybe his like editor told him no, that's a little too far. Whatever the reason, that's it's changed to just fiery abs of superhuman heat apparently. And also
Well,
another mention and also a more important mention of how he's been around the world so they couldn't cut it. They
yeah.
couldn't cut the fact that Speedwagon's apparently very well traveled for a
Well, if
fucking
if you think
mugger.
about it, if you're like in the middle of a fight, like getting all worked up, you're gonna be all hot and shit. And like
His blood runs hot.
yeah, and
Yeah.
one of the best like ways to warm yourself up sometimes when it's really cold, if your like hands are feeling
Body
like
heat.
really frostbitten, just like stick it
Put them
under
under
your
your pants.
shirt, like against your chest, and it does work. It's pretty good way to heat up pretty quickly.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes. Um,
Uh, so yeah, Tarkus and Bruford they start fighting. Well, Tarkus doesn't really fight yet. He just like imposes on Speedwagon and Zeppeli
yeah,
and looks scary while
they just kind of like ignore him for a while. Well, he's
kind
still
of yeah.
doing stuff, but he's supposedly stronger than Bruford, but he's just like fucking
He's had
around.
yeah, he's just kind of like waiting around while
Yeah, it's
Bruford and
weird.
Jojo fight. Do you want to know their name meanings?
Yeah.
Your special classic rock geek friend.
I'm sorry, are these
Uh,
not real historical figures?
no, no, not in the
Wait, they aren't?
slightest. No,
I figured they would be.
I don't think Wind Knight's lost a real place. I don't think all of
Yeah,
this
but they could still be like,
crazy training.
huh?
Nah, well, nope. But
Because like I'm pretty sure the whole like Elizabeth and Mary Stuart thing was real.
uh,
I
my
think.
Yeah,
friends are
that shit's real. I've heard of that shit. So
Yeah.
I feel like it's really weird that they have this backstory now that they're totally baseless.
yeah, well, Mary Stuart was a real all the stuff that happened between Mary Queen of Scots and Queen Elizabeth actually happened. They're just thrown in there as like the dutiful knights and retainers of
Okay.
Queen Mary. But like though
Interesting.
they're completely fictional people. Bruford is named after Bill Bruford of fuck what was the was oh yeah there were he was the drummer of the band Yes, which sang Roundabout, the end title theme,
Oh,
and
nice.
Tarkus is named after the album Tarkus by Emerson Lake and Palmer, which has one of my favorite cover arts of any album. I'll send it in screen caps. It's like an armadillo tank thing.
What the
What
fuck?
the fuck?
I like it. I like his gun snout. I like his
Uh,
tread.
I
His
Mike,
I
this
pants.
is the
I
kind of
also
goon
like it.
shit that you would like.
Your Mike's just like I like your treads, G.
Baby, you got some nice treads. I think we can make an album.
Mike, that's not a tank armadillo, that's a harmadillo.
Nice.
Damn, I thought
Yeah.
armadillos only knew how to defend, not attack.
Check your phone. Sorry, cut that.
You better be sorry, you motherfucker. Suck your own dick.
Um, yeah. So we get a nice little fight with John Earthen between him and Bluford that starts in the water, where you can't breathe, so you can't use hormone. Well, that's kind of like a thing with hormone that becomes later. It's not that you need to actually actively be breathing. You just need like the blood to be flowing, and so like you need to have at least taken a
It's
breath.
like you need oxygen or whatever.
Yeah, you need to have taken a breath, but like once
You will
Jonathan
run
has
out.
once
It's like
Jonathan
yeah.
has a breath, he's able to build up the hormone, and
It's
even
like
when he's not breathing, actually, he can still use it because he's
it's
got
like
some built up.
energy that is regenerated by breathing, but even if you're not breathing, you could still use it until it runs out. It's just you won't be able to regenerate anymore.
Pretty much, yeah.
Which is why he needs to get more air. He needs one more breath so he can get enough power to fight Bruford.
Bluford. They call him Bluford in the dub.
Interesting.
'Cause, um, but yeah, the solution to getting another breath, um, it really like you can. This feels like the start of like JoJo characters using obscure factoids that no one would know
Yeah.
in real life to turn the tides of battle.
Well, yeah, Araki just learns this shit on the inside of the Snapple cans he's addicted to.
Yeah.
Mm.
So he just like he noticed there's like coal around or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, there's coal, so
Yeah,
that means that there's air
yeah.
pockets underneath the rocks." And
It's a
like
coal town.
you would think like that air would be like toxic or something,
Oh yeah,
right?
because it's been
Oh yeah,
under coal.
dude,
Yes.
there's like fucking ancient sarcophagus bacteria in there that hasn't been exposed to humans in
Yeah.
10,000 years.
Or it would
If jo-
contain like a lot of carbon dioxide or something like that, and yeah.
Yeah.
if JoJo hadn't,
Well, does it specify that what he needs to be oxygen?
I mean, if
you can't
I,
breathe carbon dioxide, you'll die.
yeah, he'll just fucking die.
Dude,
Unless
fucking
it's like,
show me the true art of helium hormone.
Oh, that would be epic. Yeah, JoJo probably would have died of like black lung if he hadn't, died in a couple months later.
Yeah.
a year later.
Spoilers.
Oh dang! Spoilers. Um,
For a fucking 34-year-old manga or
yeah,
whatever.
Spoilerinos.
that's all. That's pretty much all it takes for Bruford to like consider Jonathan a quote unquote hero.
That he's got a fucking
Brain on
brain
him.
that knows obscure dumb shit.
This kid's got a brain on him.
Yeah, he
Looks
actually has one.
delicious.
Damn, he's a triple threat. Big brain, big muscles, and big something else.
Feet.
Heart.
Oh yeah.
cock.
Oh yeah.
He's a
Yeah,
quadruple threat.
so when Jojo gets more hormone energy, so he attacks Bruford and he like hits him in the head with some hormone energy, and it like undoes like the weird like mind fuckery of the zombification. And so now he's normal Bruford instead of zombie Bruford.
Yeah, his hormone restores his pure human spirit, and he is able to, as the chapter says, die as a hero.
Yeah. When he's about to attack Jojo, he notices that he has his pure human spirit back, so he just doesn't do anything. He just stands there because he knows that he's gonna stop. Knows that Bruford isn't gonna actually kill him, and he does
And
not.
Bruford gives him his sword.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
he gets
his
the he
sword
gets
of
the pluck sword.
he gets luck, and for copyright infringement purposes, it's renamed to Pluck. That's a joke from the abridged series that I just stole shamelessly.
Yeah.
But he's able to gift Jonathan the sword that will help him later on, and
Yes.
passes away.
The sword of luck and pluck.
I like it.
Pluck means courage.
Fuck means don't give a fuck.
True.
And then it's finally Tarkus's time to step in, and he enters the scene by crushing up Bruford's remains. He also ends up like kind of accidentally attacking Zeppeli with the shards in the manga. The anime cuts out that little bit. and so begins the fight against Tarkus. Talk about that.
Tarkus does the thing, and he punches Jojo, and Jojo dies instantly.
That's true.
Arcus is just shitty Kenpachi.
Uh,
I thought you already
guess.
didn't like Kenpachi and thought he was shitty.
Dude, I fucking love Kenpachi.
Kenneth Pachi.
Have I given off the impression that I don't like him?
Well, you said he was like written shitty or something.
He is. I still like him.
Kenpachi is like her favorite character.
He is pretty awesome. Tarkus, however, meh.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you anything about Tarkus or Bruford before the reread.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Poco returns. He never left in the anime, but in the manga, he apparently left while we weren't looking. He found some guys, but apparently the guys he found were stock Iraqi assholes that make him go back. But they end up dying for their trouble, so whatever.
Yes. They were actually zombies all along. Oh my god. Oh my god. I never saw that coming. Oh, we get is this where we get the little backstory about his sister and stuff? Oh no, no, that's later. That's later. Never mind. I'm
I thought you were gonna say. I
I'm
thought you were
insane.
gonna say, is this where we get the little Poco ass because he shows Tarkus's ass?
Well, he
Tarkus has a
showed
little
his
glint
ass.
in his eye.
Well, we
He
actually
showed
saw
his
that
ass while he
earlier.
was hypnotized.
We see his
Yeah.
ass multiple times.
There's a lot of ass shots for this little boy.
And you could see how there's piss on it this time because he pissed himself.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, I love that part. He's just like, "Oh yeah, I pissed myself."
Ah, darn it.
Yeah, it's just
Oh,
like, well,
Fuck, I fucking
okay.
pissed myself, mate. I fucking pissed myself, governor.
I wonder if one of the JoJos has ever.
Hello.
I wonder if one of the JoJos has ever pissed themselves. Has this
Uh,
happened?
I.
Doesn't Jotaro like strategically piss himself in a fight? Am I crazy? Am I
No,
crazy?
No, but Jolene in part 6 in a during a stand attack that creates a zero gravity environment, she apparently really needs to pee because of the zero G environment, and forces her friend who has like a weather controlling stand to make some clouds for her to pee into.
Oh my god. That's interesting.
Oh no, I'm thinking about the underwater stand battle where Jotaro gets pissed on.
Oh yeah.
What the
No,
fuck?
he doesn't get pissed on, but the guy is fighting like says a bunch of vulgar shit about pissing, and then Jotaro like turns it into a cool one, quote unquote cool one liner back on him about pissing or something. There's a lot of piss
A
going
lot
on.
of that. Yeah.
There's a lot of piss going on here because Poco keeps peeing himself.
Yeah, so they're running away from Tarkus now. They use their Hamon Animal Crossing leaf to glide away. And
That was so fucking weird.
That was pretty weird. This is probably the weirdest application of Hamon, or at least the most fucking outlandish.
and they glide into the like Executioner's Tower or some shit.
Yeah.
No, the Knight's Training Tower.
Yeah.
And apparently there was this Knight's Training fucking thing where you fucking tie your neck to a chain, and the other dude across the room is also tied to a chain, and you have to fucking beat the shit out of each other until one dies to complete the training. And it's like, if they really wanted fucking knights, they wouldn't thin out the applications that fucking hard.
Well, this isn't like the only way that they get knights, like, because only like I think 5 people have ever passed it. This is only for like the elite knights.
I guess that makes more sense.
Like they're
But
just
still,
fucking regular grunts that don't have to go through this training.
Yeah, this is like a. Well, apparently Tarka says he sent like 50 people to their death by this.
Yeah.
see, it's stupid.
It is kind of stupid.
Yeah. That's the point, though.
If you're the
Everything,
monarch of a
everything is
nation,
stupid.
why would you want to go that hardcore that the people that are trying to be the
It's
hardcore knights are all fucking like murdered by other fucking hardcore knights?
it's
Yeah,
quality over quantity.
same with the whole like 77 rings challenge. Apparently, there was also
Well,
this.
this is the 77 rings challenge.
No, it's not. It's a different thing.
Really? Oh, okay. I thought it was the same thing. I thought this was just one of the rings. Why is it so awkwardly quiet now?
Uh,
um, don't worry.
because Jonathan gets his neck broken.
Oh yeah, that was
It's a bit
awkward.
quiet.
That was very awkward.
Awkward. It's a social faux pas,
Yeah.
honestly.
Jonathan, I
Yeah.
can't believe you do that.
Oh yeah, we also get more of Zeppelu's backstory about his Hamon training, how he learned about Hamon, went to train with Master Tan Petit, and learned of that he will one day be faced with death if he continues on the path of Hamon. And we learn the well, we don't get the what do you call it? What's the word? His future telling. We don't get that yet. First, we get the completion of Poco's little arc. You see a flashback of him getting bullied, and his sister tells him to nut up, and like he's able to nut up here to save Jonathan because he's able to crawl through the window and open the door from the outside, and that's the little usefulness he's able to have in the story.
But unfortunately, Turkey won't tolerate any interruptions. So
Oh
he
my
Turn
god.
kills Zapoli.
Turkey.
He kills Zapoli right in front of Joe Nathan.
Oh no, he
Yeah.
dies. Then he
He gets
passes on
his final ripple, deep
thing.
pass overdrive, and becomes an old guy.
Yes. And
Uh,
Jojo gets really strong.
Yeah, he goes through a super power up, he rips off the collar, and he's able to kill Tarkus. Ooh.
He gets more life energy. I
His
don't know
his
how that
super
works, but okay.
it's the ultimate ripple technique of passing on your ripple. Uh, it kind of makes sense considering you can pump ripple into other people to heal them.
This kind of shit happens in all shonen. Like,
Yeah.
even if it
Give
doesn't
me
come
your
up.
energy.
Yeah, but like,
Like, you remember when those orphan kids gave Ghost their energy, even though that's not like an established thing and it's never happened since
yeah,
ever?
it's just like that's like a different kind of like that's just magic. This is like it's
Well,
meant
Hamon,
the way I
Hamon you
see it.
can Hamon you can pass into other people to heal them, so
Yeah,
this kind of makes sense. And it's
but
not
still, how
something
does
that
it like permanently increase his power or whatever? I don't know. It's just weird.
Do we
I
know
don't
that
know.
it was permanent?
It's
Yeah,
kind of it's part of the technique. He specifically says it was a the ultimate ripple technique of some sort.
it's just like I feel like Hamon is supposed to be sort of like an internal power, like where
You think
um
it's weird that you can permanently up somebody's capacity for it?
yeah, how
I
I
guess.
just it just doesn't make sense in my mind at all because Hamon is supposed to be like uh you're you're taking in this well you're breathing in a different way that like you know brings more power to your body. Um
More te-
how is
more
someone
power to
else
you, baby.
how is someone else able to give their power to you to make you do that more? What?
Don't
How?
worry about it, babe.
Yeah,
It
it's fair.
doesn't make sense.
Who cares? I'll die.
But yeah, so is Pella's dead,
It's
Jojo
it's a
strong.
it's a sad death scene, you know. For a show that has a lot of sad death scenes, this is a pretty sad one.
Yeah, he
Especially
gets
Zeppeli's line about how he feels like he has a best friend and a son all in one in Jonathan. No mention
yeah,
of
even though
Speedwagon.
they've known each other for a week.
Yeah. And he's
Yep.
also like bisected completely and he's still able to make the speech.
I thought you were gonna say bisexual,
Yeah,
but
I believe it.
Well,
there's a
Did you
lot
see
of
his
life
rain?
is
Did you see his rainbow hat?
true. There's a lot of people that there's a lot of times in this where, people just talk even though they're like bisected or just ahead or something,
Or bisexual?
or bisexual, which is equally strange.
Yeah.
Like,
Uh,
yeah, seems like talking doesn't require lungs or anything, apparently.
yeah. Yeah. They say goodbye to Baron Zeppeli. For like, if you think that their relationship was kind of fast and stuff, I think Araki felt that way too, because like in an interview about Part 7, he says that a lot of the interactions between Johnny and Gyro in Part 7 are based on stuff he originally wanted to have done between Jonathan and Baron Zeppeli, and also Joseph and Caesar next part, but didn't because he was trying to like
Get
keep a good pace or
yeah,
something.
pace,
Yeah.
Tell me
pace.
where in part 1 and 2 the mozzarella song was supposed to happen.
Uh, that feels like a Joseph thing. I feel like
Okay,
he could have done something like that while they were in
I,
Italy.
I don't know any of this
fair
at all.
enough.
Oh my God, I'm so
You don't know the
lost.
you don't know the glory of the cheese song.
No, I'm sure I will though.
Yeah, you will. Oh,
I
you
will.
will.
I will.
You will, baby. Uh,
Oh shit.
so yeah. Also, Speedwagon takes the hat.
He just
He's like, is nobody taking
Nobody's
this?
using this
he
anymore.
just loots it. He's like, I've been missing a hat for a while, so might as well. There we go.
Oh,
Once a thief,
before
always a thief, yo.
yeah, that's true. Before we move on, I wanted to mention a lot of the names in this section, like Neck Chain Deathmatch, Room of Dragon Decapitation, Heaven Hell Snake Kill.
Yeah.
These are all fucking awesome, but
Uh,
also
that's
but
one
also very
word for it.
they're also very try hard,
Yes.
Yeah.
which is odd for JoJo. They don't really like go this hard in trying to make things sound edgy and cool. Everything's just named after a song that may or may not sound cool. I don't think like like you tell me that like there's a pretty clear stark difference between naming something fucking Room of Dragon Decapitation and then
And
naming a
naming something Green Day.
yeah, or
Yeah.
Doobie Wah.
True.
It's not it's neat.
Is there like an
Then
in-universe reason for why stands are named after music, or is this just a meta thing?
It never
it's
goes acknowledged.
it's a meta. It's never been acknowledged until recently,
Really?
where well, acknowledged is not a good way to put it, but like there's a scene of in a very recent chapter of JoJo of a guy listening to and like apparently singing along to the song that his stand is named after.
Interesting.
Fun.
We come back to Dio, and we're getting we get a good reminder of seeing how far gone he is when he vampirizes the mom and makes her eat her baby. It's also
Oh yeah,
fucking
that
it's
was
also fucking
spooky.
gross. I know what
Yeah.
I can see why the anime censored it.
Yeah, no shit. That was the moment I was thinking of when I said there was a part where they ate the face off.
Oh yeah,
It's very yeah,
it's like pizza.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, pizza. We all love pizza.
You see that
Especially that lady.
Oh. You know
that
how
gag
when
was
you take off the
actually
cheese off of the pizza and it's like weird and spotty? It's
That's what
like
it looked like.
um sometimes if you like you get your like skin like cut or whatever, or if like you
Ugh.
or
This is
like scraped your skin, it looks like that
ugh,
underneath.
ugh.
Yeah, it's
I
really
have no
yeah.
idea what you're talking about, Dylan. You
No
have random
more.
little black spots underneath your skin.
It's black. No. So
I
like
don't know.
when you take the cheese off the pizza sometimes it looks like
This is a
spotty.
gross
Yeah,
conversation.
you know what? Yeah.
Can we skip?
Yeah.
Oh, are you talking about how the bread is different colors because the sauce is spread out at different densities?
Yeah, and it's like spotty and stuff and it's weird
Okay,
looking.
yeah.
Yeah. and
We're talking about
yes.
a baby getting its face eaten. Let's not settle here for a while. Let's not make camp at this scene. Um, oh, they arrive at Midnight's lot finally, and they see that some people have been zombified and some haven't. And we also meet the three men from a faraway land. Doo-doo-doo. We
They're
meet
Chinamen.
they're Orientals, as they would say.
Orientals, yes.
Yeah, we meet the three hormone masters that Zeppeli sent a letter to for backup: Dyer, Straits, and Tonpeti, Master Tonpeti.
I think weren't Dyer and Straits like actually Zappelli's students or whatever?
It
Wasn't
the
that like stated?
no, it's they're Tonpeti students, just like Zeppeli. The translation we read kind of,
It was weird, yeah.
yeah, it was a little bit odd, but they're fellow students of Tonpeti.
I
They're
see.
also named they're also named after the singer Tom Petty and the band Dire Straits. That's interesting. Oh, wait. This is also where we see our first use of the greatest attack in the story, the Thunder Cross split attack, the unbeatable, unbreakable, undefeatable Thunder Cross split attack.
I feel like Jojo says really ineffective moves are unbeatable really often.
Yeah, that's like a shonen trope, you know.
I guess.
Oh, okay, so I figured out what the problem was with the weird like thinking they were Zeppeli students. It's because it was a flashback of Dyer talking to Tonpati. He was like, "This is from our master." Uh, wait, no.
Uh,
This is
It's a weird translation.
Wait a minute. I don't even know, man. I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah,
It doesn't
whatever.
matter, Dylan.
Yeah,
Jojo's
I'm
the
sorry.
next to Jojo
Listen,
encyclopedia. What Mike says goes.
true. Yeah,
Oh
Mike, you're
yeah.
right. You can also
On.
suck your own dick, so therefore I must follow your orders.
That's right. I had all of my ribs broken, so it's possible for me now.
Yep.
Oh yeah. I also wanted to mention that the lingering focus on Jonathan trying to shake Tom Petty's hand and his refusal,
Oh yeah.
it makes me think that like Tom Petty was trying to avoid seeing Jonathan's fate, just like he did with Zeppeli's, and the
Oh,
Oh, that makes
cultural
sense.
difference was just like an excuse, especially since he just learned the
I
prediction
thought it
was
was just
correct about
supposed to be
Zeppeli.
funny and awkward.
That might be what it is. That might be what it is, but I also kind of get the
No, that
feeling
makes
based on
way more sense.
how like it got like 4 panels of like the reaction to that before
Yeah.
we got like we actually do this in my land. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah.
Would have been real cool if he did know his fate, though. Damn, we
Yeah,
might have been able to avoid some things.
yeah.
You
Well,
know,
that's
like
the thing
all the other
about
parts.
Don't
Dylan.
get up.
That's the thing about fate. Dread it, run from it, and it still comes.
True.
The Jojo, don't get on the Titanic. Oh yeah. The next scene is we see Poco's sisters in Dio's castle, and we also see Dio's weird ass mix and match creatures.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, like Mancat.
Mancat, yeah.
Oh my god.
I think there was also a cat bird, like a cat head on a bird
Yes. And there was also man dog.
body. Yeah. He's, and Dio crushes Mancat's head because he didn't have manners.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a man cat. Do you really expect him to have impeccable table manners? He's a mad cat. He's a man cat. Yeah. He tries to convince Poco's sister to be a immortal vampire just like him, but she rejects him, and he's kind of a cuck, so he doesn't take it lightly. And he sicks his bag-headed guy Doobie on her. And the anime gives him a very goofy line of "Bye, Mademoiselle."
Oh my god.
Yeah, and that's when the heroes plus Poco arrive on the scene by dropping a fucking anvil on him, which
As you
is
should.
fucking ridiculous because like it makes me think like how did this happen? Because like was there just did there happen to be an anvil on the roof they could use? Did they pass an anvil and Jonathan's like, I'm gonna take this, we might need it,
Why
and
didn't
just carry an anvil up to the roof? Did they see Doobie attacking her and were like, we need an anvil for this. We can't just drop in and attack him and save her. We need to go get an anvil and just leave Poco's sister to run away until they found one. All of the
yeah,
answers are
true.
very dumb, but
Why
I
what I
also
thought
really
of
like the fact that they drop an anvil on him.
I why didn't they save the anvil for Dio? It would have been so much more useful.
Would have been so much more comical. He would have gotten bonked. Maybe they were saving it for Dio. Dio did just leave. Maybe they saw him down there, and Jonathan was like, "Hey, it'd be fucking hilarious. Get get that anvil." And then they come back and Dio's not there, and Jonathan's like, "Oh fuck, now I'll use on this guy, I guess." But I really wanted to just drop a fucking anvil on Dio.
It would have been very funny and pog if Pluck was a hammer instead of a sword, because then he could get bonked many times.
That's true.
Well, fucking, what's his name used a hammer?
Speedo.
Speedowagon.
Speedowagon.
Speedowagon used hammer. It was super effective.
Oh, really? Speaking of how like the anvil, I kind of hope Jonathan was hoping to use the anvil on Dio. There's a line that I really, really love. Maybe it's just like how it was translated, but fucking Jonathan, as he's about to fight Doobie, he says, "Geez, I don't have time to play with Dio's weird hobbies." For some reason, I just love that line, and I
Yeah.
think it's just because it like really makes them feel like brothers after all the dramatic postulating. Like after all, like
I
I
also
will
felt
stop
that.
your wicked ways, Dio, and Dio's like, "Come then, Jojo." Like Jonathan is just like so done with all this shit. He's just like, "Fucking, I don't want to deal with my brother's dumbass science project. This shit's weird. Get out of here."
I just want to beat the shit out of him until he dies.
I just really love just like I don't have time to play with his weird hobbies. Like that Dio was like just at dinner one time he was just talking about his theory of man cats to Jonathan. And he was like, Dio, what the fuck are you talking about?
Damn, how did George never like suspect anything?
That's what Dio's law degree was based around, man cat rights.
True.
Uh so yeah, they defeat Doobie, setting off the tradition throughout the first three parts of defeating a random vampire minion before the final boss fight begins. And they make it to Dio, and he's there with a bunch of zombies, and they're about to throw down. And Jonathan steps forward to take on Dio, but then fucking Dyer's like, "No, I have first dibs. I deserve to defeat him more than you." Definitely.
Yeah.
I,
That
I
went
honestly,
well.
Okay, so I
I
mean, technically it's true, but the story is not framed in such a way that that matters.
yeah, like Dyer is right in that like he killed my best friend, like my friend and training partner of 20 years. Let me have a crack at this. But I really kind of wish Jonathan was just like, "Oh, so you've spent 8 years being abused and tortured by him with no escape, and him gaslighting everybody you like and kissing your girlfriend? Yeah, sure. Go at it, friend.
I'm
If that's all that shit really happened."
I'm just thinking more along the lines of like
Right.
nobody but Jonathan actually stands a chance against Dio, so why the fuck is anybody else even trying?
Are you kidding me? Dyer has the Thundercross split attack. It's an unbeatable strategy.
I guess you're right. Let's see how
And
that
then
goes along.
he's dead.
Oh no. Fuck.
he does this weird walk towards Dio that looks like the fucking Echo Step from Hunter x Hunter or whatever the fuck that's called. And he does like his floaty jump, and he does the Thundercross split attack, but with his hands together. And Straight says it's an unbeatable strategy. No one's ever overcome it. And then Dio overcomes it, and he freezes and destroys Dyer's entire body.
Dio has a tendency to he has a battle tendency to overcome unbeatable odds.
Yeah, that's true.
You think you can defeat Dio with such slow movements?
Fuck no.
Alright.
And yeah, but Jonathan's able to get a little strategy going thanks to Dyer, because as Dyer is laying dead as a head, he's able to, and he lands on the little thing of roses, which we know that there was roses there because Dio was holding one earlier with the sister. He's able to spit a hormone-infused rose into Dio's eye and give him a blind spot for Jonathan to use.
It's very cool.
So, yeah.
It's like they're
So-
working together.
Together. So the final battle gets underway. Speedwagon removes Luck and Pluck from out of his gaping asshole and tosses it to Jonathan. Seriously, where was he keeping that?
His gaping
did.
asshole, of course.
Yeah, it's like a magician pocket in there.
Did you notice like the like gooey substance coming off of it?
Yes,
Where do you think that came from?
washed away the pee, meaning it's just luck. Yeah, Jonathan goes in sword blazing. Dio sixes zombies on everybody, which means that they can't help Jonathan, which is I'm glad Araki at least gave them a reason to not being able to help in the final battle.
Makes sense.
We also see Straits in action, and this is really all he does in part one. He's around in this battle mainly just as setup for part two.
Yeah.
But he's able to defeat 4 zombies who are named because Araki wanted to use more music names. They're named Page, Plant, something, and Bonham, which are the names of Led Zeppelin's 4 members.
Man, how'd you forget Gregor?
Oh yeah, my favorite Led Zeppelin member, Gregor.
One thing that's really cool is that this little arc is called Fire and Ice, Jonathan and Dio, because Dio just freezes shit.
And Jonathan overcomes it with the fire of willpower.
The fire of willpower and also literal fire, yes.
And also the energy of the sun.
And also the energy of your mom.
Paul, that was the other one.
Okay.
Page, Plant, Paul, and Bonham.
So there's a guy named
Was it Jones? Fuck, I forget.
Jones sounds right.
Who cares? They're dead.
It's Page, Jones, Plant, and Bonham.
It was Jones. And
Yes.
those are the 4 members of Led Zeppelin. The zombie, Paul. Dude, Rades is gonna get jealous.
True.
I have Carl, but I need Paul.
Paulie.
What if Rades was based off of this?
I doubt it.
I don't know, maybe. Could be.
So yeah, Jonathan goes in sword, and he's able to uses some roses infused with hormone to get the jump on Dio. He comes at him from the blind spot Dyer made, and he realizes that he can, thanks to Dyer, that he can infuse his sword with hormone, and he cuts Dio down the middle. Speedwagon says he's won, which obviously means he's definitely won and the part's over.
Yeah, he did it. He's dead.
He did it.
Dio dead.
Thank God.
Once and for all, Dio has been defeated. He'll never return.
But not really. He's okay. Somehow, I don't know. Like Jonathan was pumping Hama through, right? I guess the ice stopped it. Maybe.
Yeah,
Uh,
I
uh,
guess.
but
Well,
Dio's okay. What?
I think that Jonathan wasn't actually pumping Hamlin through it yet.
Oh, yeah, that
He
makes sense.
sliced him and then he was about to do it and then immediately the ice, too much
That's true.
ice.
Yeah, he freezes. He tries to kick, but Dio freezes his legs too, and then he grabs Jonathan's neck artery because
Yeah.
that's something that we can stomach looking at.
Yeah, that
It's
made me want to
it's
die.
it's gross looking, but I kind of like it.
Like, you're really into this shit.
It's I like weird shit. I like dumb shit. I like armadillo tanks.
You like seeing people's arteries get pulled out through their necks and leaving no visible wound.
I mean, don't you? But Jonathan escapes because he was able to put the sword into the fire and melts the ice through heat conduction.
It's like he
Uh
planned it all along.
um but Dio breaks the sword, so Jonathan's gotta come at him with fists. And they start a fisticuffs battle.
Fists of fists.
Fists of fury. Oh,
Yeah.
fury.
And then he fucking freezes his fists and Jojo loses.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, his fists are frozen and he can't do anything. Until
But
he
wait,
sets them on fire.
fire fists. He uses the
Fists,
fire fist double
fists of
attack,
fire.
and
He
he
steals
sees his
the
move.
special attack, the Gum Gum Red Hawk.
It's like Fire Punch. It's like
It's
in
fire
Black
versus ice.
Clover.
It's fire versus ice. Jonathan versus
He's he
Dio.
stole it
The
from
manga fire punch.
Fuegoleon.
That's right.
He stole it from Fuegoleon. No.
He
Stole it
stole it
from
from Captain Falcon.
Meridiana.
He stole
Um,
it from Naruto.
does people been fire punch in Naruto?
Yeah.
That's dumb. That's a stupid thing. You're dumb for liking it.
He did it.
Yeah, Jonathan wins. It's not the most like clever and strategic fight in JoJo, but we still got some nice
It
strats in
it
it.
shows the soul of the JoJo.
Yeah,
The
it's
spirit.
got it doesn't really need as much strategy as later fights when it's got this much like
It's got
story
a
and
lot
emotion
riding on it.
behind it. Yeah, and the
Yeah.
anime also makes it look damn pretty.
Gotta check that out, don't I?
Do
Okay.
it. I'll go do it.
Mm.
Yeah, but Dio's able to sever his head before it's destroyed by the Hamon going through it. And he also uses for the first time the nameless, unnamed, never be named ability to shoot high pressure goo lasers out of his eyes. And
That's very
but
strange.
yeah, and the chapter ends with Wang Chen, Wang getting his head and getting
The
away with it.
Oriental.
Yes, the little Vegeta looking and then we get a little montage, and I'm kind of glad that the montage is given to us through like newspaper clippings of some sort.
It's
That
pretty
helps.
interesting, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The newspaper clipping talks about like missing people in Midnight Slot. Then the next one is about how some people, which is Jonathan, Speedy, and Tom Petty and Straits, being seen burning Dio's clothes and then smashing the stone mask. I like that Speedwagon is the one that smashes it. It's nice. The hammer. And then the next one is Jonathan and Arino got married.
Oh my
Yay!
They
god.
also fucked. They definitely fucked. Like, it is so undeniable that they boned.
Well, I mean,
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
she's
obviously.
pregnant. But dude, they fucked.
They fucked on the bed. They
I bet
fucked
they
on the
did.
floor. They fucked so long, Jonathan grew a fucking afro.
I bet.
They they fucked in the spiciest way they could imagine. Missionary.
Dude,
What the fuck, Mike?
Jonathan busted
I
out his
mean,
fucking
they're
bunny suit.
I mean they're British. It's the 1800s. What else are they gonna do? Make eye contact? That's
No,
too
dude.
much.
Wait,
That's
they
too
wait.
far.
That's
put on,
what. Oh, whatever.
They've
Jonathan put
never.
on his Bunny Butler cosplay, and he was the sub little baby bitch boy.
Jeez, he's a he's a big baby with a huge body. Remember?
Yeah.
True.
Dude, go back through the earlier chapters of the manga. They're a good boy and girl. They never made premarital eye contact.
That's
Canon.
true. Premarital eye contact.
I love that meme.
You just look into the eyes for the first time. You're like, "Damn, your eyes are ugly."
Instant nut.
Yeah. So we cut to their honeymoon. They're going away on a ship. And Speedwagon goes to see him off, and he says like he gives him like a little. He gives like a little. This is the last we see of him in part one, and he says like to himself like, "I hope you guys are always happy, Arena. You definitely didn't take the love of my life away from me. If you guys ever need me, I'll be there," which is a very fitting thing for him to say here because that's very true, as you will see in the coming parts, Dylan.
What? Wait, what did you just say? Huh?
You'll see that he was very right in that, like, if
Oh yeah,
Jonathan or
he's
any of his
always there for them.
Oh,
pretty much
Always, even in
you'll
death.
see how you'll see how.
okay.
But yeah, but we also see Dio is alive in a quelf, and
Wait,
it,
Dio's not dead? I thought he was done for forever.
it's
Wait,
yeah.
Dio's not dead? I thought he was a vampire.
I thought he was undead.
I thought he was a re-dead from Ocarina of Time.
I thought he died when those cops shot him. He
I
must have
thought.
not. He must have not died because Jonathan said, "Don't shoot. This man isn't black."
Guys, who would win in a fight between Dio and me, Hank Hill?
Hank Hill. He sets Dio on fire with propane.
He
I'll
brings the
show you a true
propane.
man of propane.
Have you ever seen
Dio.
that? Have you ever seen that fan art of Hank Hill as a stand user?
I have not.
Hold on, I'll
I've
send it
seen
to
a
you.
lot of stuff about Hank Hill, but I have not
I'll
seen that specific thing.
find it. You talk about the boat scene.
They're on a boat. Uh, they like boats. They look at birds, and there's boats around. The end.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
And fucking Jonathan and Aaron are getting fucking wasted on boat booze.
Yeah, totally.
And
And then they see an Asian.
Holy shit, there's an
they
Asian
see
here.
a ghoulish being from a distant realm, aka a Chinese person.
The
Jeez.
damn Chinaman has returned.
Dylan, I really don't
it's,
think you can say that on YouTube.
it is. We're just quoting these 1800s characters.
Yeah, they've
Also,
literally they said that.
Also, here's Hank Hill as a stand user with his stand propane nightmare.
That's
Wonderful.
okay.
Yeah, Dio's still alive. Oh yeah, this random priest has a page to himself, and he's the one that discovers Dio's coffin for some reason. And he's Father Styx. He's named after the band Styx.
Yeah, that was completely pointless, but okay.
You'll be saying that a lot with Jojo.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like
Honestly.
the 2-minute fucking world building fun fact about Coca-Cola and how it's popular in Hong Kong.
Oh yeah. And then the way they order food in a restaurant in Hong Kong, you gotta know. It's important to the story. Yeah.
I guess.
Jonathan bursts in, and then he gets 2 lasers through the throat, and he can't use hormone except for a tiny little bit.
And he uses hormone to control Wang Chen's buddy to make him stop the engine of the ship. Because
buddy?
What?
You say buddy or body?
Body. Because you
Sound
can
like you said buddy. His friend.
because you can fucking body puppet people with hormone apparently.
Supposedly, well,
apparently.
he like hit his brain in just a way that it would do that, and it was just what?
Not not enough to destroy a body, but enough to control it to do this very specific thing.
Yeah,
And he knew exactly what to do to make a boat explode,
I
apparently.
did not know that Jonathan was a neurosurgeon. Okay.
Or a boat expert.
Well, I don't think you have to be particularly an expert to know that.
Eh,
Although I didn't know that, so well, I guess
didn't
I'm
know. Mr. Just a loser.
just part of the failing
Oh,
snowflake generation.
damn it. Do you think Jonathan would call us snowflakes if he knew us?
No,
Yeah.
Jonathan is a really exceptionally nice person, so we would not.
Well, he's an exceptionally nice person from 140 years ago, so he'd still be racist and shit.
That's
true.
true. And again, we're all white.
That's yeah. Well, no, you know what he would say if he knew us? He would say, "Who are these strange 3D people? My mind is being blown."
That's true. He would be like,
Speaking,
where's the tank armadillo at?
No. So the thing is, he would say some really racist shit towards Dylan because everyone thinks Dylan's like Arab American or some shit.
Apparently, though I'm not. Oh,
they're just
it
kind of
offends
tan.
me. It offends me very much. Oh my god.
Can't they see it? Can't they see the real me? So
Will
yeah,
they ever see the light of day?
so yeah. Jonathan sets the boat up to explode. Theo's not worried because his special coffin can apparently like tank an explosion, but he's still trying. He's still kind of hurrying to make sure he can cut off Jonathan's head because he's here to steal Jonathan's body. Another instance of Dio taking from the Joestars. Arena comes
He needs that monster Joestar cock for his
like
own purposes.
pretty much. We
Yes.
we get we get special focus on his penis later, and he does have a
Wait,
very large package.
Wait, what?
Don't worry
We
about
don't.
it, Dylan. And we're
Don't
not.
worry. I told you he's wearing crotchless chaps.
What?
He's got a big package
Don't
when he
worry
shows up
about
later. Don't
Oh.
worry.
We also
Don't
know
worry
that
about
he does it and it works.
yeah.
Oh wait, I remember hearing about this. What the fuck? It's so stupid.
He's got crotchless chaps, he's got elf booties, and he's got a heart headband. What is so and like a backless tank top, backless turtleneck tank top. He's a real thought.
He
Very
also wears
interesting.
green lipstick.
Yeah, he's got green lipstick and the curly elf shoes.
Wait, is this deal later?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, this is part 3. This is a world ODO.
Ah.
But yeah, he's trying to steal Jonathan's body. Arena's there. She wants to die alongside Jonathan, but
He's not gonna.
Jonathan tells her to live on and be happy and to also take that baby with her. And I like that, like, it's not just like take that baby because it's the right thing to do. Jonathan specifically thinks back to like what his mother had done for him, like holding on to him as and shielding him as she died in that crash.
Yeah. It was like the same thing, you could say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so she is able to survive by getting in the coffin. Jonathan stabs Dio in the head to make him stop and holds him tight and admits that even now he feels a strange fondness for his weird murderous vampire brother, and he dies right then and there. And in a show with a lot of sad deaths, this is a very sad death.
Yeah, he's
Especially
the first Jojo and he's dead now.
yeah, and it really comes out of nowhere because you think as the protagonist he'd be all right, but then it's not, and it turns into like a generational
Yeah,
show.
it's like an epilogue. Like they won, they defeated Dio, and then all of a sudden Dio's
It's an
back and it's just everything is
it's a,
fucked.
it's an epilogue that sneaks up on you because you don't think there's gonna be an epilogue because you don't think it's ending, but it kind of does.
Yeah.
So the day is saved, but no one will ever know The tale of Jonathan's courage, except for their descendants, because Irina survives and also is preggers. She's totally poggers preggers. And the part one ends.
It's over. Oh my god.
Oh my
Jonathan
god.
Joestar died February 7th, 1889.
2012.
2012. Oh my god.
The end
They
of the
were
world's
right.
coming.
Jojo entered 2012. Everything's terrible.
What
Yes.
would we do without Joseph, the world's greatest hero?
Oh,
So,
what did you
that was
think
cool,
overall?
I guess.
Your first time.
Yeah. Uh, I'm like not a huge fan of like the really weird shit, like that's
Nah,
just for the sake of being weird and bizarre.
not yet.
Yeah. Okay. Um,
Yeah, you'll get
in
used to it.
in this, well, I know I'll get used to it, but I'm just saying like in this part, like a lot of my favorite parts were like more about like the grounded story, like the relationship between Jonathan and Dio, and like mostly just the early parts in general. Just like once I noticed like once like hormones started to get introduced and like we got all these wacky powers and wacky adventures going on, that's when I started to lose like to lose interest a little bit. Like I don't know, I just uh it's
You're,
not my cup of tea.
you're more into the characters.
I'm more into the characters and like the
That's
the
that's
story.
fair.
Yeah.
The story does a better job of integrating the more grounded characters and storylines and all the wacky shit together as like a whole package, you know? And
Yeah.
they're always human connection, human relationships. They always stay at the forefront of what the story's all about. Before before we end off, I wanted to say something about Jonathan as a protagonist. People
Okay.
say people like to say he's like the worst Jojo, and they say he's boring, and
Well, he's
it's
different.
it's yeah, it's fair to say that, but Jonathan's not meant to be the same kind of deep dynamic character as someone like Johnny later or Josuke or Jolene. He's meant to be like the jumping off point for all the other JoJos. He's meant to
He
have
sets the
he's meant
stage for what the JoJo spirit is.
Pretty much, yeah. Even when you're introduced to ones like Jotaro, who were first introduced to like in a prison, or Joseph, who's very like unscrupulous and like a real trickster, you know that they're descended from Jonathan. So you know that deep down they have a good heart. They have that noble chivalry inside them, even if it's kind of hidden away behind other stuff. He's
Yeah.
meant to he's meant to ground the story and give us a little push off, you know? And he serves that role well. Speedwagon is best waifu.
I agree. I hear a lot from other people about how like part one is like very different from the other parts, and like because of that reason they don't recommend like people to I guess start with part one just because it gives like a weird idea of what the series is gonna be like when it's
That's dumb.
different. But I don't know. I liked it, and from what I know of the later parts, I feel like this is probably going to be my favorite parts, just because um, it's just more grounded and like there's less of the wacky shit going on.
Hmm.
But again, I mean,
But
we'll see
we'll
how
have
that
to
works
see.
out because we're reading part two
That's right.
next time.
We're reading chapters 1 through 31, which is anime episodes 10 through 16, 15, 16.
Yeah. So we're going to be doing part two in two episodes instead of one, which
Yeah.
because this was about 44 chapters, which is a little bit of a stretch, and part two is 69 chapters. Ooh. So we want to skip.
Whoa.
We want to
Give it its fair
you know,
shake.
yeah, just
So
split it
yeah,
up a little bit, get a
that's
little
what
bit
we're
more
doing next time.
focus. Yeah,
That's what we're doing next time.
that'll be very cool.
Anything
Um,
left to say?
Links on the screen and stuff. Um, you see those links, click on those links. They're good.
Hmm.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
Follow Obama on Twitter and have a nice night. Later, skaters.